Welcome everyone to another very special episode. To be fair, I say special episode every time, but today we have quite a few people here. I'm Sam,
I'm Coolio.
And I'm Slade.
and I'd like to welcome Coolio for coming on the podcast. Those that have joined us before will recognize Shades. Um, but yeah, today we've got the Solomon Grundy crew with us, uh,
Yeah.
which is a which
Right.
is a joy for me. So thanks for coming on, guys.
It's a
Oh,
lot of fun to be here. I don't often get to do videos with you, Sam, but it's cool when we get to. So yeah.
yeah, this is awesome. I love being on Sam's channel.
So today we're gonna talk about the superhero movies of 2013, and I think I speak for all of us when I say that I really hope this is as bad as it gets.
Yeah, it started off the year with a lot of anticipation, and I don't think it quite lived up to that.
No, this year, man, it feels like I think I was gonna actually say this in one of my videos, but it kind of feels like being a kid eating candy for the first time and being like, "This is awesome," and then being offered some more, taking it and eating it all up, and then being like, "It's okay,"
Yeah,
and having reality hit you in the face.
Oh no.
yeah, that was the big thing about this year. It was a big wake up call.
Yeah,
Uh, last year it was the biggest year for comic book movies, and the year before that it was pretty huge as well. And it felt like these years have been getting bigger and bigger. And this year it was the return of Superman, Iron Man 3, Wolverine, Thor 2,
yeah.
Kick Ass if anyone cared, and but it just
47 Ronin.
um, and it was kind of Lone Ranger getting a film, like I don't know, it was a huge year that just did not live up to the hype in my opinion.
Yeah,
No.
47 Ronin. All right.
Yeah.
That movie's doing terribly right now.
Oh, shock.
Imagine that.
When I
So,
was Sorry, go ahead.
what were you gonna say? Go for it.
Yeah, when I was in Los Angeles this past weekend, I was going to Hollywood Boulevard, and there was a big billboard there for 47 Ronin, and I just thought, why would anyone in this city care? And then you like go down a couple of blocks, and then you see American Hustle, and it's like, well, that's the movie that people here are going to see. Like, yeah,
I thought because Keanu Reeves is in two movies kind of at the moment. There's one to do with like it's called something weird, but it's like a kung fu movie, and then he's also in 47 Ronin. I thought it was one movie.
it's the same
Also,
film.
it sounds exactly the same.
Yeah.
So
Yes.
Um, but anyway, so I guess what we'll do is we'll just go through each film of the year. This is really a reflection year, and if anyone is gonna say, "Wait, but the year's not over," well, all the superhero movies are done and gone now, so we can finally reflect on them and talk about them and bitch about them. So
Yeah.
now let's start with the critically acclaimed Iron Man 3, the movie that everybody adored, the movie that taught kids that life is amazing, and it just won all our hearts.
It
I,
also taught children to not be such a pussy, apparently. That's what I got out of it. That is from the mouth of Robert Downey himself.
yeah.
Yeah. So, Shades, we've you've talked quite a lot about this movie.
Just a
So
tad, yeah.
and well, and so have I. We both did a whole discussion on it on the
Yeah, we
podcast.
did.
So why don't we start with why don't you give your thoughts on it, Anthony?
Who, me?
You.
I'm honored. Okay. Let me just go ahead and give you my whole experience with the film Iron Man 3.
Dun dun
Um,
dun.
I guess the experience started before the film had come out because my good buddy, Shades at Night here, had released a video talking about how he was just not impressed with this film, and I think me
You're
with
welcome.
the rest of the internet, and yeah, thanks. We're just in shock of like, what do you mean this movie isn't good? It looks great. He's probably crazy.
You're not the first person to question that.
Yeah, I was just caught aback when this happened, and I didn't know what to think because this is my buddy, and I agree with everything else he says. So I go and I see the film with my friend at like a really earlier showing because now they're showing films a lot earlier instead of midnight for some reason, which I'm fine with, I guess. That's cool. And just did, I guess, not really enjoying the film. About halfway through the film, it started to go down a bit downhill, and when the whole reveal of the Mandarin happened, my friend looks at me and goes, "Is that why? Is that why you didn't like it? Because I don't like it." And from that moment, we just sort of had this disgusted look on our face and felt, our mouths were sour. It was awful. Someone peed in our popcorn. And it just, I think, amplified everything else into being worse. Maybe more so than it actually is, because we just sat there and every time someone laughed at something, we're like, why are you laughing? None of this is funny. And, there's that whole airplane scene, which is beautiful until the very end when it gets taken away by slapstick humor. And just all these things accumulating into just the fact that none of this was worth it in the end. And it keeps just making worse and worse decisions. So I didn't like it. I remember I came home and I was like, well, I just saw a bad Marvel movie and didn't think I had to
Yeah.
do that in a long, long time.
Mm.
So I went to go see it again just because I was like, I gotta make sure, be in a right mindset, I suppose. Saw it again, and it ruined the first half of the movie for me.
Yeah,
I'm
Yeah.
like, well, god damn it, now I don't like the first half too. What
yeah.
the hell? And all I could say was, I mean, at least the Iron Patriot suit looks cool. It's shiny, and that's all I took from it.
Yeah, that was one of my criticisms as well. That first half was so good, when you first see it, and the second you know that it's not actually all those stakes aren't actually that sort of big, and the Mandarin isn't really a thing, and yeah, it cheapens so much of that first.
It loses all the threat, and so, I mean, I don't care about Tony as a character in that film. I have no reason to worry about him. It's almost the same problem you have sometimes when watching Wolverine. Like if you're watching him in X3 or Origins, you don't feel like he's in any danger. So
Yeah.
why do I care about this character? What's gonna be my pulling force? He's just being an asshole to everyone, uh, even children. Do I need
Yeah.
to care about him? No. All right, fine. I guess I won't.
Yeah,
Yeah.
and what really annoys me is how like you've got people saying, "But it explored the character of Tony. He wasn't in the Iron Man suit. That means it's good and it's character driven and it's deep." Shut up.
Yeah, yeah.
Like,
People think if he's not in the suit, he's not Iron Man. That immediately makes it about Tony Stark. It's like, no.
and I've heard
This is
and I've heard so many people complain about that in other superhero movies, but now because it's Iron Man, the tables are turned.
all right. I get it. He's a changed man. He becomes a changed man every single film he's in.
But the problem is the character arc was just bullshit. Um,
No, it doesn't make any sense.
like the anxiety attacks were just dropped because it was just a callback to the Avengers to remind people that yeah he was in that movie. We're not ignoring it. Um, and yeah like where was the big character defining arc there? He just fought the bad guy and he won. And everything's kind of okay now. And then he says I am Iron Man, and then the film ends.
Yeah, yeah.
Like oh yeah, and he got rid of the arc reactor, which was completely like what. Um, but
So I
yeah,
fixed Pepper.
so I fixed Pepper, yeah. But
It's a great line.
I went into that movie pretty excited, um, and and I was really enjoying it. You know, I was cheering for Iron Man, especially when they were blowing up his house and he was getting in the suit, da da da, and then I was like, oh, when he stands up, and it's really epic moment. And you're like, this is awesome. Um, and I mean, the special effects were fantastic. Uh, I will give this to the movie. It's a very entertaining movie once you know that you're not going to like it. Um,
If you go in there thinking, I don't think this is going to be any good whatsoever, you can find joy in the little things.
but um, but yeah, when that Mandarin reveal came up, my friend and I, uh, we kind of looked at each other with these. They're not really doing this, are they? Faces, um, and we had
That
them.
face.
And I know I had it for that entire scene. But same with you, Coolio. I'd just when everyone was laughing, I'd sort of be looking around me like, what are you doing? None of this is funny. We shouldn't be laughing. This isn't a comedy all of a sudden. And there was just a massive tone shift. And when the movie ended, um, I started getting worried because I was with a group of friends, and I'm the film critic basically when it comes to those guys. So when the movie ended, I was like, well, I really didn't like this movie, but I don't want to constantly bitch about it and ruin it for them.
Yeah,
And
Yeah.
then my very good friend who was sitting next to me goes, "Wow, I hated that movie immediately." And I turned around, yeah, I did too. It was awful, and we just went off on one. But um, but I mean, that friend is a guy who is not a film critic. He's just an everyday moviegoer. And I don't think this only upsets comic book fans. I know that a lot of people will say that, and it's kind of obvious that that's not true. That's just what they say. Um, but you know, anyway, Shades, you are allowed to speak.
Uh, so yeah, I've spoken about this film a little bit. Now, okay, it was funny that Coolio brought up my review because I watched earlier that day before I saw the film. I did a video, and that video is still up about me saying how tonight after the midnight screening, I'm gonna come online and do a review. And it started off. I'm gonna also describe my experience. My friends and I, two of my friends and I, we bought tickets to see the Avengers. Actually, they were doing a special screening of the Avengers before Iron Man 3 that day, so we had bought tickets for that like weeks in advance. And we get our tickets, we pick up our tickets, and we go to the cinema that we're told to go to. So we sit there, and we sit there, and a few other people are in there, and then a few more. I'm like, oh, not many people come to this. That's a shame. And then White House Down begins. And we went, well, this is not the Avengers. And we got up and left. And then this woman followed us out, and she's like, are you guys also here for Avengers? We said, yeah. And she's like, yeah, same. So we go to the guy who let us through, who the dude who takes the tag off the ticket and tells you what cinema and where it is. We go to that guy and said, "Oh, we're here for Avengers, and White House Down is playing in Cinema 2, just for argument's sake." And he goes, "Oh, I'll check that for you." And he takes out his little clipboard and he goes, "Oh, sorry, Avengers is going to be in Cinema 6." Now, what I probably should have mentioned is that day they were also having the world premiere of Star Trek Into Darkness. Uh, Chris Pine was there, Zachary Quinto was there,
Wow.
Carl Urban was there, J.J. Abrams. Um, there are photos on my Twitter of like being very close to the stars on the red carpet. It was pretty cool. So we start walking into Cinema 6, and suddenly some big ass security guards stop us. And they're like, "What are you doing?" We're like, "We're gonna go watch the Avengers." And he says, "You can't go in there. Star Trek's playing in there." And he went, "Oh, well, sorry." So we nearly walked in on the stars of Star Trek Into Darkness enjoying their film premiere. That would have been fun.
That guard just thinks that you just go to places and say, I'm here to see the Avengers.
Yes. Meanwhile, he's thinking that movie came out a year ago. Um, so then we go back downstairs and to go see the ticket guy to say, "Hey, you were wrong again." And now everyone who was in the cinema sitting through White House Down has Sorry, it's not. It wasn't White House Down. It was Olympus Has Fallen. Same film.
Same film.
Yeah, but the first one that came out, the one with Two-Face and Lucius Fox. Um, so it was Olympus Has Fallen, and all the people that were sitting through the opening credits of Olympus Has Fallen have come out of the cinema, all there intending to see the Avengers, and we're all told to go back into the cinema, and they say sorry for the mix-up. We'll start playing Avengers in about 10 minutes. And my friends and I are looking at each other, going, "God damn! Like Avengers is a long movie. Are we going to be out of here in time for midnight for Iron Man?" Like it's allocated seating and everything, but still. Um, and So we're sitting there, and we're sitting there, and we sit there some more, and we're going, "Geez, come on, this is not a short movie." And then a dude comes in, and he walks straight to the front of the cinema, and we're all looking at each other, going, "Yep, they're not screening it, are they?" And he goes, "We're very sorry, ladies and gentlemen. This special screening of Marvel's The Avengers will not be taking place tonight. We're very sorry for the mix-up. We'd like to compliment you with a free pass to see Star Trek Into Darkness, a double pass. Also a free pass to see any 3D movie. And if you'd like to walk into any cinema and watch a film right now, you're more than happy. We're more than happy to let you do that." So we didn't get to see Avengers, but we got you know, we got a pass to Star Trek, which had not yet come out, and
Oh, I feel
another
sorry for
pass. Yeah, well, I mean, I actually like Star Trek Into Darkness, but anyway, so
Well then,
we,
I see where we stand.
I'm sitting, so
No, I
I
enjoyed that
like
movie too, but reflecting on it. Anyway, that's a whole other story.
that's fair, but
Continue your tale.
yeah, so
it's a tale.
I wanted to keep my Avengers ticket just for the comedy of it. So I thought, wouldn't it be funny? Like in a bunch of years' time, I look back on this ticket to the Avengers, and it says like the 28th of April 2013. That'd be funny. And but everyone had to give their tickets back to the dude, and I was like, "Would you mind if I keep this?" And he goes, "Nope," and he rips it out of my hand, and I was just like, "You son of a bitch!" Like that was first of all, that was really rude and horrible customer service. Second, what the fuck am I gonna do with the ticket to the Avengers? Sneak in to the Avengers? You know? So that pissed me off. That put me in a really shitty mood. And my friends and I were just like, "Well, that was a shame, but at least we got all these free movie tickets." I was like, "Fuck that. I wanted to see the Avengers." And So then we walked into G.I. Joe Retaliation, which was
Yeah.
Ah,
so much fun. That was a fun movie.
thank you.
And yeah, so we finished that just like, man, that was unexpectedly good.
Yeah.
And we were all happy. And then we sat down to watch Iron Man 3.
Oh,
Now, it was not my experience of this fun G.I. Joe movie that ruined my experience of Iron Man 3. Um, but I sat down and, was ready for Iron Man, which is, the fun superhero from the Marvel Universe. And we're sitting down and ready for fun. Iron Man's fun. And we're sitting there, and I'm Blue, Dubba Dee, Dubba Die begins. We all laughed hysterically. The 1999 scene is pretty funny with like Happy Hogan and his mullet.
Oh yeah, Happy Hogan's like one of the best things about this movie.
He is,
yeah.
yeah. And, he wants everybody to show their badge, and Tony's playing funny music and, getting his new Iron Man suit on, and, everyone's having fun. Then his house blows up, and that is one of the coolest sequences ever. And it's awesome special effects, and you're wondering how the hell Tony's going to survive, but if you've seen the trailer, you know he's going to drown. And Jarvis, who's, also Iron Man, saves him, and all hell's breaking loose, and Mandarin is releasing all these creepy videos, and you're going, "Oh my gosh, how's he going to stop the Mandarin?" And then we see the Mandarin, and I had the same reaction as you, Sam, where like, and Coolio, like, I turned to my friend after that first scene. I just had this look on my face of, the hell are they doing? And he said to me after we saw the film, like, "Man, you looked at me with such anger." And then the whole time I was going, "Man, this can't be true. Like, at the end it's gonna be revealed, like kind of like the Loki reveal at the end of Thor 2. Like it's gonna be revealed like he's the real Mandarin this whole time, and that never happened. In fact, when Killian revealed himself to be the Mandarin, I groaned, especially when it was followed by him getting hit so hard that he flew off screen.
Yep.
Um, just the comedy that was fun. Like I said, Iron Man's fun, but they went too far with it to the point where they didn't take it seriously and it was a joke. And I once said, like, I was talking to someone who's not a big comic book fan, but he's we saw a billboard for Iron Man 3, and I looked at it and I groaned. And he said, "Oh, have you seen it?" I said, "Yeah, I have." He said, "Did you like it?" I said, "No." He said, "Oh, why?" I said, "Well, I didn't think it took itself seriously. I thought it treated itself like a joke." He said, "Well, I liked it. I didn't expect it to be a serious movie." And I was like, "Well, I'm not saying I expected it to be serious, but the advertising certainly gave you that impression, so one could presume that it was. The the trailers made you feel like the film was going to be, you know, Tony Stark's, you know, battle against himself. Like it's this big internal journey, while he's put to the ultimate test against his biggest foe from the comics, and I think they completely screwed it up.
Yeah.
And obviously I've calmed down in the months since then. I was so like, if you watch my review, I actually say I can't call it a bad movie, but I didn't enjoy it. I have no problem now calling it a bad movie. I was still somewhat in disbelief. I didn't do the review after I saw the film straight away like I intended, because I felt like I needed to think about it. Because I didn't hate it, but I know I didn't like it. And then the next day, then after all the hate I was getting from everyone who hadn't even seen the film yet, that really pissed me off. So I was like, well, screw you guys. No, it's a bad movie. I'm not going to tiptoe around it.
Yeah.
And look, if you enjoy the movie, that's all well and good. Films are meant to be enjoyed. I don't go into movies wanting to, thinking, man, this could suck. Like, I don't see bad movies. And of course, I had anticipation and I expected it to be good. I didn't expect Iron Man 3 to be bad. But that doesn't mean that my expectations were so high that they couldn't be met. It was just a bad movie, in my opinion. It's hollow. It's got no heart. Any attempt at a message that it tries to have is completely hollow. They just brush over what the hell happened to Pepper, and I fixed her, like whatever that means.
Yeah.
And then he gets the arc reactor out at the end, like that could have been done in the first film, just with a giant magnet or something. So, completely crap, in my opinion.
Yep.
With all due respect to the actors involved, who are all really good.
Yeah. No, I completely agree. Big shame. Big shame. Apparently Marvel are planning what was it? It was like a one shot thing where
Yeah,
Malekith and Mandarin come together or something like that.
I think it's Killian and Mandarin, and
Oh
Mandarin
right.
is meant to be like, "What have you done to my image?"
Oh
Oh yeah, it's
That
supposed. We just know that the one shot will involve Ben Kingsley.
yeah,
We really everything. Everyone's been speculating what if like the
yeah,
real Mandarin's going to be showing up or something, but we know Ben Kingsley's in it, and he's not saying anything because
yes,
he's Ender's Game. I don't know.
yeah. It's such a shame because he could have been, and I loved his scenes, his like attack videos. Those were awesome.
yeah.
And you know what? In another movie, his scenes as Trevor might have been funny, but the stereotypical Olay and just all that stuff, and him walking out of the bathroom as if he's done a giant crap, like it's symbolic of the movie. I'm
Yeah,
sorry.
there it
Yeah.
goes.
And as a Brit myself, like I don't usually have a problem with stereo. I mean, I watch Family Guy. That's as sort of playing it a
Yeah.
bit close to the chest as you get. I'm also Jewish and I watch Family Guy, so um, but that just it really it annoyed me in a sense that I thought these films were better than that.
Yeah.
And I'm not exactly calling this film, racist or, like that towards Brits. I just thought it wasn't very funny. Um,
Yeah.
I mean, Trevor, you had to get, like, you couldn't have given him a different name. It had to be Trevor.
Yeah,
Oh,
it's cheap. It's cheap comedy.
yeah, it genuinely, and I've said this before, and I'm still saying it now. It genuinely felt like a scene that the projector thought, oh, this will be funny, and he cut it out of Hangover 4 and stuck it in Iron Man 3, and everyone
Yep.
just went with it.
That guy's really good at editing. He's like just putting it right in there.
Yeah, yeah.
He
Good to
managed to
him.
fit
All
one
right.
banner
The
in
old
there
days of
somehow.
editing, he's even better.
Yeah. I applaud him. All right. I say this movie in a whole new light.
Yeah,
Good old
that
big
so
joke.
it'll go down in history. That movie sucked, but the editor, man, that editor.
Yeah.
It was great.
So, do we have anything else to say on Iron Man 3?
Not really. Not for me.
I'm just interested to see where everything goes in Avengers 2. Just
How
that,
Joss fixes this?
yeah. I said this in I guess my review of my friend and I after the movie. Just sort of, yeah. Joss has a lot of cleaning up to do,
Yeah.
and what is he gonna do with Iron Man after that?
Yeah.
Well,
It's gonna be interesting.
the big theory is that he's going to be the one that creates Ultron.
I think, yeah, that's pretty solid theory, just
That's a
considering
safe theory.
everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, it allows Robert Downey Jr. like it gives him a reason to be in another Avengers movie. You know, he's the main character, and two, it works because he's already an established scientist. We don't need to work on getting a new character, considering we're already getting two new characters.
Yeah,
So
a part of me is kind of like, oh, that's a shame because that would have made sort of Ant-Man a little more important to the team.
yeah, see, I'm an Ant-Man fan. I know a lot of people aren't, but I like Ant-Man, and
Yeah,
this is like his one big thing.
and they've taken it away from him.
Yeah, it would be like if you took World War II away from Captain America.
Yeah,
You just be like,
Yeah.
well, what the hell?
yeah.
Now I'm just a guy.
A
Yeah,
hero is only ever as good as his villains.
yeah. And Egghead. All right, Ant-Man.
um, but yeah, I hope. See, I was really hoping he would be in Avengers 2.
Is
But
is
granted, we don't know what they're gonna do, so we can't really start calling it out on that crap. But
Yeah, that's true.
um,
is Ant-Man not coming out the same year as Avengers 2?
It
uh,
is. It comes
it
out
is
later. Yeah.
Does it come out before or after?
Avengers
after.
comes out in May, and then Ant-Man comes out end of July.
Oh, okay, never mind.
So
Yeah.
yeah, so he just missed the boat, so he has to wait.
Yeah.
He has to wait for the circle to come complete again to come pick him up.
He will be the
Gosh, why?
beginning of Phase 3.
It's like he missed the bus, so now he has to
Yeah,
wait.
he missed the bus.
He missed
He's
the
small.
Avengers bus. Um, but
It's a
yeah.
shame.
So the next film was Man of Steel.
Um, See, this is what's hard because there were comic book movies. Like there was. Oh man, see that's the thing. I don't know what order these were as well. Where are you looking at the order at the moment?
I'm not.
Man,
Hang on.
Okay.
Man of Steel came out in June.
I can get the list up. One moment.
I mean, what movies are we? Because
See, comicbookmovie.com has a list, but the dates are always wrong. It claims a couple of films haven't come out yet when they clearly have. But
Uh,
and we should say, by the way, about Iron Man 3, it is still the highest grossing movie of the year. So, even though we didn't like it, apparently a lot of people went back multiple times. So,
yeah, I didn't like it. I went back another time, so
there
there
you
you
go. Yeah.
go. It had a lot of questioning people in the theater.
Yes. Let's see. April, Iron Man 3. The Great Gatsby. Oh, that wasn't a comic book movie.
Well, Tobey Maguire.
Man of Steel, June 14. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, I've talked quite a bit about it. If anyone's seen my latest video, it's me literally explaining why I don't think it worked. Um, we all. I think this is the film we all have different opinions on. Um, but Shades, I think Man of Steel to me is what Iron Man 3 was to you.
Right.
Horribly disappointed in that movie. And recently, because it's come out on Blu-ray, I've watched it again, and unfortunately, it's got worse for me. But what I'll let you guys take the floor for a little bit.
Okay.
I'll just quickly give my thoughts since I kind of saw it last week. So when I first saw the film, obviously I had a ton of anticipation, but like I said, Iron Man 3 was a wake-up call, and I was like, I can't be too excited. I have to be prepared for this not to be good. I forgot I had to feel that way about comic book movies. And I saw it on actually on the IMAX screen, which we have one of the biggest screens in the world in Sydney. So I got to see it on, a giant screen where I was sitting on the right side of the theater, and if something was happening on the left side of the screen, I literally had to turn my head. Uh, that was interesting. It was also in 3D, and I
Oh.
really liked the film apart from the goddamn shaky cam, where that was nauseating on a screen that big. Then the second time I saw it in a regular cinema, and I had a better experience, I think, with it the second time. Actually, to be fair, the first time my friends and I all really enjoyed it. Second time I saw it with my brother, and he really enjoyed it, so I enjoyed seeing it with him. And I just had the things I didn't like about it the first time didn't bother me the second time, which was mainly the cinematography. And it was a reminder of just how epic that score is. Seeing it again. And then I didn't see it again until just recently on my flight to LA, actually. I thought, oh, Man of Steel, I haven't seen it yet since the cinema, so I'll check it out. I like the film. It's certainly not my Superman. I agree with Sam in a lot of his points about why the film doesn't work. I understand what you mean. I guess not all of that bothers me as much. I definitely think it provides it tries to provide hope, and that's that was the last line of the trailer was my symbol means hope, and it tries to provide that. And to steal a line from how it should have ended, it's just not as inspiring as it tried to be. Um, I think Henry Cavill is an excellent Superman, and once again, I think all the casting is quite good. Um, I enjoy the film a lot. I think the best thing about the film, apart from Cavill, is the soundtrack. I listen to that a lot. I think Hans Zimmer has written just a tremendous soundtrack, and I'm really looking forward to hearing a new Batman soundtrack mixed in with that for Man of Steel 2, and we'll see how that goes. But it was a it wasn't a letdown, but I don't know. It was not Batman Begins for me. That's and a lot of people saying this is going to be the Batman Begins for Superman. It wasn't that. It couldn't compare.
They would have liked it
Um,
to have been the Batman Begins for Superman.
yeah, and I remember before the film was coming out and it was getting some mixed reviews. I was going, well, is this people just not liking it, or is this people expecting a Christopher Reeve Superman film and them not getting that? To be completely honest, or actually to be fair, Superman Returns has a much higher rating on the tomato meter than Man of Steel. And I think that's because people like that type of Superman. And I know everyone loves hating on Superman Returns, but at the time, a lot of people loved it because it was Superman, and Superman inspires hope and joy in people. And this Superman did not do that for me. Yeah. Uh, I like it fine. It just was not the Superman. It's not my Superman.
I feel like I can agree on mostly everything that Kirk had just said. It's not really my Superman. I remember the first time I saw it, I was very, very excited. This was my number one movie that I was excited for this year. And I remember coming out of it thinking, I don't know what to think right now.
Yeah.
I mean, I like it, but there's things I don't like about it. I do really enjoy it, and I want to really love it because it's Superman. This was also my theater was testing out their new surround sound system. They were like, we now have speakers every inch of the ceiling and walls. Let's destroy Metropolis. So,
And the theater.
Wow.
so that was like that was my fear during the entire movie is that other people will dislike it because of this theater being loud. I'm
Yeah.
like, oh no. People are gonna like it because me being a guy who just I love Superman so much and knowing so many people that hate Superman, I went in here not worried about myself, but worried about others in the theater not liking it because of the character they're watching.
Mm,
And turns out this was a very different Superman, so a lot of people turned around to it. So that
yeah.
worked out. It ended up pushing me away more than anything else. I do not hate this movie. I think I personally like it. I don't love it. It's not my favorite Superman, but it's not Superman 4. So it's got that going for it, I suppose. The score is obviously really good. I listen to that every day whenever I'm driving to work or something. It's just fun, and it feels epic. Most of the cast I feel does really well. I like Henry Cavill, whatever, Superman. Um, I feel like Michael Shannon is really fun to watch. Uh,
Yeah.
he's subtle at points and really over the top at other points, and he yells, and that's what I need from a villain. I don't like Amy Adams. I just don't.
Wow. You've
Um,
changed your opinion there.
I know at first I didn't like her, and then I was like, you know what? I think I like her, and now I've decided that I don't. I watch it
Oh.
again, and I just don't care for her as Lois Lane. She feels like Lois Lane when we first see her, and then gradually she becomes less of a character and more of just like, oh, I'm here because I'm Lois Lane, and this is a Superman movie, and I'm here to provide exposition and to help do things. I'm like, I don't really care for her that much, and I feel like I don't have a reason to care for the character halfway through,
Is
but
that
I
is
should
that
because
Amy
it's Lois
Adams'
Lane.
fault or the script's fault?
It's a mix of both, I would say.
Okay.
I don't want to blame Amy Adams. She's a fine actress. I've enjoyed her in other things, obviously, but just not in this film. Lawrence Fishburne does a great Perry White. I love Cowboy Curtis. Um, let's see. Yeah, I think the casting works pretty well. But there's just things about this film that don't feel Superman to me, and as a Superman fan, I'm torn. I really am torn. Part of me wants to love it, part of me feels like it needs to hate it, so in the end, it's okay.
See, for me, it's and you guys just made very good points. I do understand why people like it, um, and you know, as with Iron Man 3, if people like it, that's absolutely fine by me. Um, the 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 thing for me is that yes, I'm a Superman fan, but I'm also a film fan, and that
Yeah.
movie to me, I mean, I already knew this. I knew um, that Superman didn't work for me. I knew that the moral stuff in that movie was kind of all over the place. Um, I knew that the tone was downbeat. I knew that everyone was downbeat. I knew that every line was about exposition, blah, blah, blah. So I knew that. And if you'd confronted me on this film 2 weeks ago, I would have said, I didn't like the movie, but I probably would have thought it's not a terrible movie. Now, having watched it over, and really concentrating, I am shocked at how stupid this movie is. Um, there are so many lines in the movie that don't make sense. Characters contradict themselves in they'll say something in one scene and then they'll contradict themselves in the other, and this is the kind of stuff like the philosophy that they or the ideals that they strive towards, and they'll contradict themselves, and the cinematography drives me up the wall because
Yeah.
you have moments of wow, that is a really beautiful shot, but you feel as if you just want to take the camera and stick it on a fucking tripod.
Yeah.
Because I can't see this beautiful image that you special effects guys are creating for me because I just can't tell what it is, and that's also why I can't stand the action sequence. I get a headache from watching it. I don't have fun watching it. I just I remember when we were in the movie. Um, I nearly got up to go to the loo when Zod and Superman were fighting because I was just getting sick of this shit. Um, and my friend actually stopped me, and he said, you know, where are you going? Because he was actually enjoying it. And he said, where are you going? I said, I'm going to the toilet. He said, what? No. Um,
If you throw up, you're throwing up here.
so I stayed there and I held it in. Um, and then when he killed Zod, I pissed everywhere. No,
Oh, jeez. Ah!
no.
Just a
I told you
release.
I needed to go.
Everyone
Um,
died at the end.
Yes.
but the,
Sam drowned the entire cinema in his pee. It's like Superman sinking into the skulls. Everyone's just like, no, Zod!
oh, but yeah, so um, it just gave me a really unpleasant theater experience. Um, I don't like any of the characters. I don't connect with anyone. I don't take anything away from the movie. Um, I it just really upset me. Both in how I was excited for the movie and just how it it was. Yeah, there are no words. Um, yeah, so it doesn't work for me. I'm afraid. Hopefully, I mean, and like you said, Henry Cavill is great. I like the guy as an actor, and you know, I think that the best part of that movie for me, it's a tiny moment, but it's just when he says, "Cal, that's my name," and he
I
gives
knew
this
you were
little,
going to say that. Yeah.
and he gives that little smile, and I'm like, that is that's like a kid finding Christmas, like finding his presents at Christmas. It's such a tiny little sort of thing he does where you're like, this is a guy who's finding out about his past and he's really excited and he's happy that this is finally happening. And you can really see that in his performance. Um, and even when I mean it's debatable about again the moral crap about him crashing that satellite or the probe or the spy thing at the end of the movie. Um, Whatever it was, I forget. But
It's a plane full of people.
it's the plane from Superman Returns.
I found it.
um, and uh, and yeah, when he's sort of standing up and saying, I don't know, General, blah blah blah, and I'm like, yeah, this is super.
I guess you just have to trust me.
Yeah, that's it. Um, so yeah, I really like Henry Cavill. I'm glad he's sticking around. Um, I it's the creative team. I don't think David S. Goyer is right for this, um,
Yes.
or rather, the reason, Batman Begins, and because the only reason I would say that it should be thought of that the creative team were trying to Batman Begins this movie was because they were trying to Batman Begins the movie. Um, like they were trying to do the same storytelling method, and I think it kind of missed what was going on there. I said in my video, but that the reason it works in Batman Begins is because you got the past story and the present story. They're both working together, and they're creating one whole narrative and character arc that tells us why Bruce Wayne becomes Batman. We understand his progression. In Man of Steel, we just keep cutting back to random parts of Superman's life. Um, and it doesn't really tell us this is why he becomes Superman. It just sort of tells us, oh, it's kind of hard being an alien.
Mm-hmm.
No,
It's
what's really
funny.
interesting. Oh, sorry. I'll just say this real quick. It's
Better.
interesting because David Goyer came up with the story for Batman Begins, and Nolan liked it so much that he brought him on to co-write the screenplay with him. And it's interesting because Nolan and Goyer wrote the story together, and then the screenplay is all Goyer. And to me, I think if Goyer had just written the screenplay and the story by himself for Batman Begins would have been a lot like this. Just,
Yeah.
this disjointed origin story, and that doesn't coincide with the present. And I feel like David Goyer, without a Christopher Nolan there to cipher his ideas, the script doesn't work as well. And I like Goyer. I love his passion for comic book characters and comic book movies, and I like some of his stuff. I really enjoyed Flash Forward when he was there, but I don't think I mean I think he was a little exposed on this film, and I'm not gonna take all the blame away from Snyder because I certainly think he's partly to blame, and as is his wife, who she says in the featurette before the film came out that we tried to make Superman cool. I was like, well, there's problem number one.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I completely agree with that. I was watching the Nostalgia Critics review of this film with Angry Joe, and every time he mentioned someone or something that is a Nolan problem or anything like that, I just wanted to be like, no, you mean Goyer, not Nolan. I don't
Yeah.
know why
Yeah,
you're saying. I don't know why you're saying Nolan right now. Everything you're saying, just replace the word with Goyer, and you're fine.
because
Because
it's
it.
cool to hate on Christopher Nolan now.
Oh yeah, it's cool to hate. Just like it's cool to hate Superman. It's cool to hate things that are just good.
Yeah,
What's interesting is that when they did the sibling rivalry video after they'd seen the movie, they do this. I don't know if you guys have seen them, but him and his brother sit down and they basically dish out the movie, kind of do a discussion slash review of it. And Man of Steel, they were complaining the whole time, and but I mean, they had very good points. But what was interesting is they were saying how everyone has been having a go at them about how they're being like, you just hate Chris Nolan. And they're being like, no, we love Chris Nolan. And then in his Nostalgia Critic review, he kept saying, oh, Nolan this, Nolan that. And I thought, well, you kind of contradicted yourself there because you said because like, if you're focusing on Chris Nolan, he's not the problem.
yeah,
Um,
Hmm.
I think it's mainly because if you're gonna hate on something, it needs a face.
yeah.
If you said David S. Goyer to a random moviegoer, people are going to be like, what the fuck's that? You say Chris Nolan, they're gonna be like, oh, Dark Knight.
I love
What
how
the
you
fuck
said
is that?
David Goya. What the? Yes. What is that? What is a David S. Goya?
What's a David S. Goyer? Oh,
Yeah, it's like funny enough, and I'm gonna bring this full circle here. It's like with Iron Man 3, you give this thing a face, and that's the whole thing with hating on Chris Nolan. Like people didn't love Rises as much as Dark Knight, which obviously means that Rises must be horrible. So now that Christopher Nolan didn't make the perfect movie, it's now he's not as good. And Interstellar's gonna shut some people up, but it's really a shame because Nolan was involved in the story part of the film, and I don't think the story, just the basic story of the film, is the problem.
No, because
Um,
there's a lot of cool Superman elements in there.
there are,
Obviously, there's a lot of Earth One in there,
yeah,
which I
the
really
influence from
like.
Earth One I really like, yeah.
Yeah, there's just classic Superman things in there that you feel like, oh, this is the character, similar to the way it is in Batman, to where maybe it's not necessarily everyone's Batman, but you can enjoy it for what it is. I feel like story-wise that this could have been something.
In the Blu-ray collector's edition or whatever it is of the Nolan Batman trilogy, there is like a big sit-down discussion with Nolan and Richard Donner. Because Nolan has said, part of the influence for Batman Begins was Donner's Superman. With getting this not well-known actor in the title role and surrounding him with the world's best actors. That's what Dick Donner did with Superman 1, and that's what Nolan did with Batman Begins, and continued to do after that, even though Nolan was a name. Sorry, Bale was a name by the end. But surrounded them with people who were excellent actors and perfect for those roles. And so long story short, Nolan really loves Superman. I'm not going to claim he's a comic book expert, and he wouldn't claim that either. But he has an appreciation and a passion for the character. Nolan loves cinema. I've heard him talk very passionately about Star Wars, and that is not a film I thought, or that's not a film series that I thought Nolan would necessarily care that much for. So blaming Nolan for Man of Steel is so wrong. And if you're gonna point fingers at any one person, and I don't think it's correct to do that, but if you're gonna point fingers at any one person, I think the person who deserves the most blame is the guy who wrote the script, and
yep,
that is David Goyer.
yep. And like people will say that because I saying that every single line is stupid. That's kind of it's very general, Zod, but
They'll say, "Please, Mr. General."
but like for instance, the scene on Krypton where Jor-El confronts the Kryptonian Council, it quite literally goes, and I quote, we have possibly 2 weeks left. You're not we need to evacuate the planet. You're not well like we have to do something. You don't suggest we evacuate the planet, do you? Um, yes.
That's what I just said.
Yeah, and then the following, and then they go, okay, well, let's talk about evacuation. How do we do it? And then Joel says, no, we have no time left. It's too late for us. You just said you had 2 weeks left, and then, and then, and then
Wow, that's true.
Zod comes in and shoots the like bodyguards of this room, and he says, I'm taking over this session, and she says, on whose authority? Did you not just see him shoot the fucking security guards?
This guy is. He just points to another larger man.
Yeah, like I'm so glad she gets shot at the end of that scene because man, she pissed me off.
Their
But
silly hats.
Yes.
but I mean, that's an example of the kind of like I think it's most apparent on Krypton because all the Kryptonians are stupid, um, and uh, and like they say, it's
It's
too
such a
late.
shame.
Sorry.
I really love. I was gonna say that's such a shame because I really love this version of Krypton.
Yeah.
I mean, like just the world. Like I think they did something really different, and I think it works.
Yeah. Great world building.
Yeah, and I
Yeah, they use the world book.
they use the world building machine.
Like that.
Dubstep. Wop, 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 wop.
The dubstep machine, General Zod's favorite.
It turns people into Christopher Reeve, apparently.
Yeah. And have you noticed that shot, Sam? Have you heard about this?
I have not.
Okay, well, when Superman decides to stop coughing and kill the world engine, um, his cheeks are all like flowing in the wind, and he looks just like Christopher Reeve. That it's scary.
Really.
Yeah,
Yes.
it is weird just because it is an exact shot, if I might add, of Superman sort of like looking up, and there being a light down on him. It's weird. I don't
Yeah.
know.
I'm looking it up. Oh wow.
Christopher Reeve's
Oh
Superman.
wow, it
Wait.
does.
Yeah.
That's creepy.
That was my reaction as well. It creeped me out. It's like he looks just like Christopher Reeve, and I know Henry Cavill doesn't.
Oh,
What I think it symbolizes is that he's perfect for Superman, as was Christopher Reeve.
yeah.
So
That's
yeah.
Well, I mean, I'm glad we didn't see Tom Welling.
I
in
was
that.
just
That would have made me mad.
Oh man, I have an idea. All right,
Oh God. Okay, I know what you're doing.
I'm
Can
putting
happen.
Tom Welling's face on the world machine. Kaboom!
Everything blows up.
He's gone. That was another thing I really liked was
Anyway,
him
thanks.
as like young Clark arguing with
Oh,
his dad. I really enjoyed that, just his performance there.
the kid really looks like Henry Cavill,
He did.
so that was kind of cool.
Yeah, I feel like this movie it's a bit polarizing. There's people that say it's the best Superman movie. There's others that just hate it completely, and I think I stand in the middle. Just sort of, well, I saw bits I liked, I saw bits I didn't. It all just, eh.
I'll give you this: it's certainly one of the most fascinating Superman movies.
yes.
We're still talking about it, and
Yeah.
I will always give credit to a movie for making me like continue to talk about it.
Generate discussion.
Yeah, I'm the same. Yeah, well, if a film can keep me talking this long, then it's like, oh, there's something there.
See,
Um,
that's the thing about other movies like Star Trek Into Darkness. I keep forgetting that movie came out this year. I really liked it when I saw it, and I just like, oh yeah, I like that movie. Anyways,
Yeah,
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 exactly.
that was kind of that movie for me. I know it's not a superhero movie, but just for like a second. Um, I watched that movie and I thought, oh, this is really really fun. And it's true that movie is very fun to watch. It's a fun movie, very entertaining. Um, so it's kind of like a similar experience to Iron Man 3, except I don't think it's as bad. Um, but like I watched it and I thought, I've seen this already because I'm a Trek fan.
Yeah.
And I was like, I've seen this in another movie. Come up with your own originality, but it's so entertaining. So I kind of walked away being like, well, at least J.J. Abrams is a good director who knows how to keep me entertained. I'm looking forward to him on Star Wars, but do not take those writers with you because they don't know how to write original scripts.
It was funny when I saw your review. I was like, man, that was a great movie. And then I saw your review, and I went, yeah, you know what, you were right. There were a lot of things there that uh, I agreed with you.
I feel bad. I'm ruining all the movies for you. The story goes, I really liked it, and then I went and saw Sam's review,
And then I went to Sam.
and he told me a different story.
Yeah, but no, I mean, like when you were saying how why do all this stuff that or was already done in Wrath of Khan, I thought, well, yeah, you're right.
Well, yeah.
Accurate. So, um, but anyway, to Man of Steel, yeah, I mean, I like it. It's certainly not my favorite Superman film, and never will be. And I agree with you that it was Sam that as a film, um, it does not work on most of its levels. As a film, it's not good. As a fun summer blockbuster with a superhero, I think it's fine. And I enjoy watching it. As a Superman movie, it's not my Superman, but I think the best Superman since Chris Reeve was in the movie, so I enjoy it as a Superman movie for that aspect.
Yep.
Brandon Routh wasn't in the movie.
And with all due respect to Brandon Routh, who I love, obviously,
It's handsome.
I will defend that man till the day I die. He was excellent.
Oh,
It's
yeah.
just it's just that Henry Cavill just happened to be, I think, slightly better. But
Yeah.
So, um, so after that movie, um,
do you want to know
and
what came next?
I think it was Wolverine.
Yes.
Well,
Dun, dun,
if we
dun.
want to be technical about this, the next comic book movie to come out was actually The Lone Ranger. Did anyone see that?
No,
I did not see that, no.
I don't
Yeah.
think anyone
Well,
went to see that movie.
then the movie after that was R.I.P.D. Did anyone here see that?
You
Nope.
did. I did. Sorry.
I did.
You have the
Uh,
floor.
Yeah, go ahead. I'm gonna go take a nap.
okay, so R.I.P.D. I've never read the comic. It was, of course, a critical disaster and a box office disaster. It's funny, I saw some douchey news story today that was completely biased against. It was on YouTube, so it's not like current, but I guess it happened when this was announced about Ben Affleck as Batman, and they brought on some Hollywood expert douchebag who was like, he played a superhero before. He was Daredevil, and that movie completely bombed. And I was like, what are you talking about? It made $2 million worldwide. Sorry, 2 million, $200 million worldwide.
It made
That would have been a
$2.
critical bomb. It made $2. Come on, two people saw it. No, like, and it got mixed reviews. Certainly does not have 0 on the tomato meter. I think we need to change the definition of a bomb. R.I.P.D. is the definition of a bomb, and
Buddha bomb.
I knew not that kind of da bomb, but I knew going into this how bad it was going to be, and my friend and I were just like, we want to see a movie that's completely brainless that we might just laugh at. So we saw R.I.P.D. and uh, just about everything Jeff Bridges did made us laugh in a good way. He was absolutely hilarious. Ryan Reynolds, this poor freaking guy, just he's tried so hard, and I know he loves comics, but he just keeps on getting the short end of the stick.
Yeah, no matter
Um,
what he does, he tries and just nothing. I feel so sorry
yeah,
for him. No, what? I don't. He's really attractive. I don't feel sorry for him, but
he is a millionaire married to Blake Lively. He
say
doesn't need our pity.
he does not need any sort of like, oh, I support you because he's Ryan Reynolds. But that being said, none of his comic book movies work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But
Okay.
and it was a very nice surprise to see Kevin Bacon as like the lead antagonist. We did not know he was in the movie, but the movie's horrible. It's like it's really bad. But if you are gonna watch it, just know that Jeff Bridges. I mean, he made me laugh and he made my friend laugh. You've got to be in the right mindset to enjoy it. Just know that it's absolutely horrible, but Jeff Bridges is very funny as this character. I mean, it had a couple of moments that were genuinely funny that weren't Jeff Bridges, but just overall, talking about a film that doesn't work, this does not work on any level whatsoever.
Well,
Um,
there you go.
then the next comic book movie to come out was Red 2. Did anyone see that?
No.
No.
Okay, well, I did because I like Red. So, um, Red 2 was fine. It was good, just nowhere near as good as the first film. I certainly didn't feel like I needed Red 2. Everyone's good in it. People have criticized Bruce Willis. Yeah, these days in a lot of movies he does, unless it's something like Looper where it's an intelligent script, he just looks like he's going through the motions and just getting a paycheck, for being there. But yeah, who was really good? Anthony Hopkins. He was so good. But Red 2 was fine. It was a movie. It wasn't as good as the first. And the first is not like a blow away excellent movie. So take that how you will.
Slight detour.
Yes.
Bunch of amazing Spider-Man news has just occurred.
Oh, yeah,
Oh,
you saw
what's
that?
happened?
Okay, I guess we're gonna talk
Tobey
about that now.
Maguire has been recast as No, he hasn't really.
Oh, Jesus.
Uh, they've just released a picture, which is basically it says the Daily Bugle, and it's got the heading Spider-Man vs. the Mob, and it's by Eddie Brock.
Oh my god.
Oh, you're.
And I think they just greenlit a Venom movie.
I was about to say you're talking about that. I thought you meant the news that Sony just announced the Amazing Spider-Man spin-offs Venom and the Sinister Six.
Yeah,
So
Well,
they are never gonna leave it alone, are they?
I can't wait to see a Sinister Six movie.
now there was a rumor that we won't detail too much, but at the time of this recording, this news has just happened. Um, there was rumors of Shocker turning up in Amazing Spider-Man 2, and I was like, oh great, like the 800th villain. I need this.
Pineapple
Um,
Head.
Pineapple. And sorry, that was a quote of a
I know.
video, the spelling bee video. If anyone's seen it, I won't repeat what the main line is. It's very racist and sexist. So,
What are you talking
sh-
about? Come on, that totally makes me want to hear it.
okay, if I say it, no one can get mad at me. And in the comments, you're not allowed to get mad at me. Okay, I am quoting a video. It's okay. So these kids are at the spelling bee, right? And it's the final word, and the first finalist comes up, and the guy's sitting there who reads the words, and he's got his dictionary open with his assistant, and he goes, "Okay, your next word is nigger faggot." And the boy stands there, and he's like, "I'm sorry, what?" And the man repeats the word, and so a couple of them try to spell the word, and one of them says, "Can I have a definition?" And he goes, "Of course." And he opens up the dictionary and he goes, "The definition is pineapple." And the kid goes, "Really?" And the guy goes, "No, not really." So, that was my story. Anyway, Amazing Spider-Man 2. Shocker is apparently was rumored to be showing up, and I guess he will, and that will spin off his happy gang of evil people.
Anyway, well, we can talk more about this near the end when we talk about the upcoming movies of 2014. But now we come to the Wolverine.
No, 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 no.
Yes. Yes, we do.
Oh,
Um,
sound from the trailer. No, no, no.
thank God, thank God for this.
Yeah, I know, right?
Thanks, you.
Yeah, cheers.
Yeah. After I'd seen Iron Man 3 and Man of Steel and R.I.P.D. and Red 2, and I knew Lone Ranger, so I was like, well, thank the Lord for Hugh Jackman.
Yep.
His shining face, like, oh, Hugh Jackman.
Hugh Jackman. Yeah.
Yep.
Want a piece of fruit?
Yep.
That's not Hugh.
So this movie was awesome.
Yeah.
Yes, yes, it was.
Yeah.
I'll talk about it first because we're all the
Go
same.
ahead.
Yes. This movie to this point in the year, I kind of had the same feeling of just like, this year so far just has not been that great. And the Wolverine could go either way at this point. I mean, look at the track record of X-Men films.
Yes.
They're just all over the place. I don't get it. And so this movie I was not super excited for, but I was still looking forward to it because it's Wolverine and that's fun. So going into this film and coming out and being like, wow, that was really enjoyable. So the first time I saw it, I loved it just because it was like the first movie that I was like, this is really good and I don't regret anything about it. And it was fun and there's some cool story stuff in there. I actually felt scared for Wolverine. It was great. Second viewing, it didn't differ that much, honestly. I didn't feel like, okay, now I see what it really is. Like, nope, still fun. This is cool. I like a lot of things about it. Obviously, Hugh Jackman is really great. I find it funny because most interviews he's like, yeah, James really pushed me to my limits in this one. I'm like, well, Hugh, I know you're excited right now, but you say that about like every movie.
You did say that about Gavin Hood in X-Men Origins Wolverine, so
Yeah, you like to. I get it. You're Wolverine, sticks, but I'm just saying that you say these things a lot. Um, I was, I was fine with everything in Japan. The Silver Samurai thing. I didn't really feel like maybe I don't know if it's because I'm not a Silver Samurai fan, but I didn't feel cheated when it turns out it was an old man in an ironmonger suit as opposed to an actual Silver Samurai. I felt like that worked in the context of the film, so I didn't complain about it. But I feel like the relationship between Wolverine, it works. It's not my favorite relationship in a film, but I feel like it works fine enough for me at least. And the action, that bullet train sequence,
Yeah.
awesome,
Terrific.
Yeah.
Terrific
just
sequence.
just awesome. I love whenever they see like the signs are coming up, so they have to like start jumping, and Hugh looks at it and he's like, and he jumps. He's got that face, that same face he had whenever he was fighting the helicopter in X-Men Origins.
Yes, exactly.
It
It's
was the
like,
same.
oh shit.
That oh shit face.
It was the
Yeah.
oh shit, I have to jump now face, and I'm glad it was in this movie because it is the same face as the one in Origins. And if you know me, that's my favorite part of Origins. So yeah, I was happy to see that. Awesomeness. I cared about Wolverine in this film. I was scared for him, and
Yeah.
that's great. I haven't felt like that since X-Men 2.
Yeah. Um, I likewise. I really enjoyed this movie. A lot of people will say, "Oh, it was really stupid," and I think the only sort of place in the movie I thought was kind of like pretty weak, like kind of really weak, was the villains, um, and that whole kind of, oh, it's the Silver Samurai. Well, Wolverine's adamantium, so this one's also made of adamantium. So he's a big old Wolverine. So, I mean that kind of typical sort of Hollywood. It's bigger at the end, and he's got a bigger version of
It's
it.
bigger.
It's
It's better. Is it too much for Hugh Jackman? No, it's not. Nothing's too much.
so it was kind of
Huge
reminded
Jack.
me of the Iron Man formula for villainy at the end, because he always has to fight a bigger Iron Man. But I mean, I really enjoyed it. The My main criticism about the ending would just be that I think the reveal of who the Silver Samurai was, if they'd put that in earlier, it could have been maybe a little more emotionally engaging fight. But this is a really fun movie. A very like it's well directed. It's not shaking 24/7, and it actually used shaky cam appropriately. They only used it when Wolverine had been shot, and he had suddenly had this shock of, oh shit, I'm not healing, and he has to keep on fighting, and he's kind of disoriented, and that's appropriate because
Yes, it's good filmmaking.
yes, we're going through the same experience as he is. That is good filmmaking. And then once he gets on the train, and it's everything's calmed down, it's back to normal handheld. It's back to normal camera shots, and yeah, so that's an example of it being used rightly. Um, but Hugh Jackman was very good. The fight scenes were spectacular. Um, and even though I'm not a fan of Wolverine and Jean Grey, it worked in that film. Weirdly
Oh,
enough.
Jean! I mean, we can all agree that was the best part, right?
Can't hide.
You can't hide. I'm crushing your
Can't
balls.
the Jean Grey
Oh,
sausage crush.
Jean!
A finishing maneuver. Um,
Poor Scott.
so that's why they didn't have kids. So my experience with this film was really interesting. It came out on a Thursday, and I finished work that Thursday, and I was like, well, I guess I could go see the Wolverine. And I was excited for it, but once again, of course, a lot of films had let me down this year, and it was the X-Men, and I haven't truly loved an X-Men film since 2003. I went to the cinema, and I was like, well, 10 years ago, I got a film I loved. Well, is this the year that it'll happen again? And I know people are going to jump down my throat about how great First Class is. Yeah, I don't disagree, but it's not my X-Men film. How yeah, it to me not to the same degree, but the way Sam was talking about Man of Steel earlier is kind of how I look at X-Men First Class, except for the fact that Patrick Stewart, James McAvoy, and Michael Fassbender are absolutely excellent in their roles and really saved the film for me.
Hello, I'm
But
Charles Xavier. Would you like some breakfast?
it's a very groovy
That's
breakfast.
what he'd sound like.
Yeah, very groovy breakfast. Would you like some breakfast and maybe some alcohol?
And maybe a big
Peace was
thing of
never an option,
alcohol.
Charles.
So anyway, I went to the cinema and I sat down, I watched the film, I loved the film, and I was like, there is no way anyone enjoyed this as much as I did. And I went home, I did my review, and I was so cautious in my review that I didn't reveal how much I loved it. And even at the end of it, I said, I know no one is going to like this as much as I did. And then a funny thing happened. People agreed with me, which was very lovely compared to the reaction to my review earlier in the year. And then I did the video with Cap, and I don't think it has a dislike yet. And I was like, man, people liked this movie. That's awesome. Um, I was very happy, and it reminded me of why I liked Wolverine as a kid. And like, Coolio, you and I just did the Milky Juice video with our top 5 X-Men, and there was only one person who had Wolverine on his list, and it's kind of funny that is the character that's jammed down everyone's throats. But those of us who are into comics don't like him as much as Marvel seems to think we do. But I've always liked Hugh Jackman as Wolverine. I shouldn't say liked. I love Hugh Jackman as Wolverine. He's so good, and he has a lot of moments that make me remember why I liked Wolverine in the first place. And this film was one big reminder. I don't think the third act really is in the same tone as the rest of the film, and I think that hurts it a bit. I don't mind the reveal, just that whole like giant adamantium silver samurai. It doesn't completely work for me. Adamantium is meant to be this very rare metal, and I know they say that um, what was his name? Yukir. What was his name?
Yeah, Yakuri.
Yoshida.
Vodka.
Yoshida. Mr.
Yaku-
Yoshida was
Yakuri USA.
Japanese name.
Yu-Gi-Oh.
Insert Japanese name here.
I know Mr. Yoshida was meant to be stockpiling adamantium over the decades, but I was like, man, he made a whole robot with this rare ass metal.
Well, that reminded me of how just in comics, adamantium is as rare as the writers need it to be.
Yeah, it's like kryptonite.
exactly.
Yeah,
Yeah,
exactly.
that's true. Yeah.
How much of
but
that
like,
goddamn planet floated over here?
yes. Why is it here in this lady's like garden? Like she just wants to make milkshakes. And then she became Lois Lane.
She just
So
wants to make milkshake.
that's what she wants to do. She's trying to make milkshakes to make herself thin, and they make her too thin, and she becomes the Violator, and then she becomes a Disney princess, and then she was like a fighter's wife, and now she's Lois Lane.
I
So,
love the fighter, and she becomes a Disney princess with Cyclops, and Cyclops is an
Cyclops.
X-Men
Yep.
who
Yes.
was also with Wolverine and the Wolverine. There you go, full
There's
circle.
something about a nun in there as well.
And
That so
they all get covered in adamantium at the end.
yes, they all got adamantium skeletons, including Amy Adams.
And then
All of
them.
and then Cyclops' beam turned into an adamantium beam,
Ow, it
Which
just froze.
really hurts.
which fucking sucks for them.
Now Cyclops is blind, and he
Daredevil?
still has to wear red sunglasses because that's what blind characters do in the Marvel universe.
Does he save Stan Lee?
I think they missed a giant opportunity when they made Black Panther Daredevil. It should have been Cyclops. Come on, that would have been
Yeah.
the best.
Yep.
So I've already got the red shades, guys. It's okay.
Red shades.
And not me, but red.
I
Like
wanted-
Red Skull.
I want an image of red shades.
So the Wolverine I really loved, and I definitely don't need to see a sequel though. This was all I needed. Why do you need to make a second?
Yeah.
But I liked the elements that they took from obviously from Claremont and Miller's Japanese saga, and also Old Man Logan. There was some Old Man Logan moments in there as well. The vow, that he makes, not the Rachel McAdams movie, just the vow that he makes, and
Watches it.
he watches it and cries. Like Jean says to him, you made a secret vow, and Hugh Jackman goes, "You're making fun of me." Hugh Jackman Wolverine goes. I meant what I meant was that Hugh Jackman, just every line he says has meaning and heart and feeling behind it, and that's why he's one of the best actors today, and he doesn't get enough credit. This past year he was Wolverine and he was in Les Mis, and there are very few actors on the planet who could pull off two completely. I mean, they're not completely different characters, but just two completely different films in such a short period of time.
Sorry, I've just got to interject. Got a postman knocking on my door, so I'll be back in a second.
Okay. Postman Pat. Postman.
I was gonna say Postman Pat.
With his black and white cat. Yeah. Wolverine was awesome,
Mhm.
and a redemption for the character.
It also has one of, if not the best after credit scene that we've seen in a long, long time.
Yeah. And it's funny because X-Men 3 really helped popularize the after credit scene.
Early in the morning.
Damn right. Postman Pat # representing.
Representing.
I would have that was so white of me.
Yeah. Thanks.
That makes up for me saying NF earlier. So
national.
Someone doesn't.
no, it doesn't, does it?
No one's
You
gonna
can
have to go-
bleep that.
No one's gonna
Please
have to go
bleep
to say
that
national
earlier.
football.
Oh, NF. You could please bleep the word I said earlier. That'd be hilarious. Some people still don't know.
I'll dub it with an even worse word.
Oh God, how do you get worse than that?
Well, no. Well,
Can you put the Hawkeye face on my mouth like I do?
well,
'Cause I'm funny.
Or maybe I'll just cut away for a second and I'll say, ladies and gentlemen, Shades at Night was trying to say a very bad word, but we have decided here on
Very groovy word.
that very groovy word, very groovy mutated word.
I am a very groovy mutant.
A groovy mutated word.
If I dub it,
That's what it is.
if I dub it though, it's gonna go. And then he said, and here I am with my British accent, and back to being Australian. I can't do it.
Oh,
Terrible at the accent.
You gotta,
I-
you gotta
I
start
am- I-
Slade. That's the best way to do it.
just be Slade.
Slade.
See, when I do Slade, it's just my accent a bit broader with his voice. So Slade is really easy for me.
You have my voice.
Speaking of which, how awesome was Arrow?
I can't. I screamed for 10 minutes.
That episode of Arrow was better than all the comic book movies this year.
Yes,
combined.
that's the first mid-season finale when I was like, okay, all right, yeah, sure, take some time. That's fine by me, because
Yeah.
that was an awesome midway point.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I remember last year's mid-season. I was like, man, you got to end it there. Now I want to see more. And it's not that I don't want to see more, because I do. I'm highly anticipating the rest of this season, but it was so perfect that I forgive them for the prick.
And you know how you and I were saying before how, well, mainly me, but we had discussed how
Coolio.
sorry.
Nothing. It's okay.
We discussed how I had no idea how they were going to merge the fantastical element into this uber realistic universe. They've actually done it slowly, carefully, cleverly. That by the time the big sort of I don't want to sort of spoil it for people, but the big cosmic moment happens.
The event
The event,
on NBC.
the thing that happened in a flash, like that.
Way.
Uh, that
We,
that actually worked.
That was the sound he made when he got hit by the lightning.
the scene we're talking about is the birth of Wally West. We see it on screen.
When his
Oh.
mom.
Blue head popping out.
Yeah, it's like the opening to Man of Steel.
Except not as
You're not
shaky.
sure. You're not sure if she's having an orgasm or giving birth. It's weird.
Either way,
And then-
Russell Crowe is there.
Russell Crowe had wide eyes. So
A boy
Nope.
child.
You don't know if she's having an orgasm, and then it just cuts to Jor-El's wide eyes.
yeah, that's
Yeah.
what I mean. Until they zoom out, it's like, oh, she's giving birth.
Oh, it's okay.
So
That's
anyway,
very good.
the Wolverine.
So, I when this movie came out, I was actually I was in Cornwall, which is for those of you who don't know, that's a place in the very west of the UK. But I was there at a Royal Navy base, and we were filming some recruitment videos. I was working with a production company at this point, and they had their own little private cinema, and they had the Wolverine poster up, and I looked at it, and it said, and it didn't say it was showing. It said something like next week or something like that, and I thought, oh, that's a shame, because to the best of my knowledge, that movie was coming out like the day that I was looking at that poster, and I thought, oh well, I guess if it's private, it takes a while for them to get the film. I was just trying to come up with that logic in my head.
Yeah.
Later that night, it then said showing tonight. So I got to go see that movie on like the first day it came out, and in a pretty surprisingly good cinema for a private cinema, and yeah, so I actually that was the first time I went to the cinema by myself, and surprisingly very comfortable, but yeah, so I had a lot of fun with that movie, and then of course because I didn't have anything to do after that, I went the second night and watched it again. So, as someone who has watched this movie twice and it didn't get worse for him the second time, that says something to me.
Yeah.
I think we all had that experience where we sat down the second time and we're like, okay, now we're gonna like, yeah, it's not gonna be as good,
Yeah.
and it was just as good. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Yeah. I've only been to the theater by myself one time, and it was to see Green Lantern again. So your experience is probably much better than mine.
I saw the Wolverine on my own, actually. I see movies by myself, not so much these days, but I used to a lot because where I went to high school, everyone's from a different area. I
Yeah.
went to high school in the city. It was a performing arts high school, and everyone was traveling a great distance. So not all of us were, just free to hang out on the weekend because we all lived so far away from each other. So I saw movies a lot on my own, and then when I lived in America, I had nothing to do at times. I was like, I'm just gonna go see Dark Knight Rises for the fifth time, and I did, and I was happy to do so by myself.
Yeah, I've only I've only just started seeing movies by myself because I'm trying to get in the oh, my voice has gone all weird. Because I'm trying to get into the habit of reviewing brand new movies pretty recent
Yeah.
after they've come out, and I don't want to just do it with superhero movies. Um, and I don't really want to get into a huge thing about it, but it's because these people might be offering me a job, and I need to
Nice.
yeah, so I need to like get in the habit of doing this, get some practice in. But it's also nice, like, because let's face it, with superhero movies, there's probably it's only one type of movie, and it could turn out that all those movies were disappointments. So this whole year, people just think I'm a really mean film critic, um, and I want to review some new movies and prove that no, I'm not. I'm not. These movies just sucked.
Yeah, it was just a lousy year.
Yeah. Um, but so yeah, so I've started doing that, and we were talking before we started recording this podcast, but I just recently saw Saving Mr. Banks, and that is without a doubt probably my favorite movie of the year. And that's one of the few films I'm actually glad I saw by myself because as because if I'd seen it with my friends, which I don't know which friends would have wanted to go see that with me, but if had they
Us.
yes, had they been sitting next to me, I probably wouldn't have cried and got happy so much. I'd be too concentrating on trying to look macho, and
I like
and yeah,
nachos.
just being.
Macho, macho Sam.
It got to be a macho, sir.
Ooh yeah.
Boom! Check out these
Nice.
muscles. But
Snap into a Slim Jim.
Yeah.
but yeah, so I'm very glad. I'm very glad that I saw that movie by myself because it's a very personal movie, and it's the first time I've been like, you know what, that actually changed my experience seeing it by myself. So this isn't me saying go see movies by yourself, but I don't even know how we wound up at this place. It started with me saying it was the first time I saw a movie by myself.
Yes.
Um, but the
So you
moral
do
of
know
the
how we wound up here. What are you talking about?
yeah, true. So the moral of the story here is
Be a loner like Wolverine. It's okay because you'll be on like 8 different teams anyway.
Wake up, wake up, wake up, wake up.
what
There we go.
are you dreaming about?
I don't know stuff.
Oh fuck you then.
What were you dreaming about?
Now
Gene.
wait, hang on. So it's Jean and Charles Xavier in bed, and he
I
wakes up.
wish.
She says, "What were you dreaming about?" He goes, "What were you dreaming about?"
I know what I'm doing.
It's the only way.
And then it looked like Xavier was about to kiss Scott. It's about to be a very romantic moment.
Good.
Yeah, I did. If I don't know if he'll watch this, but Chief Brody rules. Frank, he was making fun of that scene on Facebook the other day. I was like, damn you, that scene's beautiful
It is beautiful. Patrick Stewart is very beautiful.
Yeah.
I like when he wheels into this movie
with his giant eyes.
so
Oh,
quickly.
oh yeah. I was trying to remember. Wait, when the fuck was Xavier in this movie?
It's the best part.
But you know what's interesting?
You're not the only one with gifts. Why are you yelling? Everyone's frozen.
He has a good
He
point.
went so quickly.
And he comes in so fast.
I know. It's
like
almost hilarious.
He's booking it around those people like,
Yes.
Eric, I can't find the breakfast. Oh, Logan, you're not the only one with gifts.
Oh, Logan, you're here now. Well, you're not the only one with guests. Come on, help me find this breakfast.
You're not the only one with gifts,
Logan.
goddammit. Now let me find breakfast. Oh,
Logan,
Charles.
what are you
Always
doing?
in his breakfast.
But I
You're-
think I
I'd
don't
love it
want
if they were also flying out like to catch a plane. No, like Logan, you're here too.
to.
They also had suitcases with their classic suits in there. Xavier,
Yes.
he didn't have one, so when he opened up his, it was just a golden wheelchair.
My favorite.
What seat are you in? 1A. You're in first class? Well, yeah, you know.
You weren't in first class. That's a lie.
That's a lie, and you know it.
Remember
I'm
to
an
turn your
old
phones off. Where was I going? Yeah.
Talking a long time about this movie.
Meanwhile, but yeah, so I don't want to give any discredit to the movie, but I think one of the reasons that after credit scene was the most exciting part of the movie is that it's X-Men. It's Wolverine is better when he's part of a team. Um, in his own movie, I mean, it's very difficult to make Wolverine a hero because usually the reason people like him is because he's telling everyone to go fuck themselves while they're being the heroes. And he's just sort of tagging along and he becomes a hero, but he never sort of says, I'm going to be a hero now and help people. And while I still love the Wolverine, um, the reason that is so great is because it's Wolverine interacting with some X-Men. And it's exciting and that's part of why I'm really excited for Days of Future Past. The X-Men are returning. Um, and what's interesting is I don't know if you guys saw this, but it was on a news article when they released the alternate ending for the Wolverine, which by the way we should talk about. Where Bryan Singer had sort of put out a sort of 3 minute behind the scenes Days of Future Past video, and he was using the John Ottman theme for X-Men 2. So
Yeah.
I'm really hoping because it really felt like this is a sequel to X-Men 2. It feels like it's in the exact same universe. It's the same director. It really feels so. I'm hoping that it's a lot like X-Men 2, but I'm also hoping that the fact that he played that theme is a indicator that he wants to keep that around.
Well, this
John
just plays into
Ottman
my
is doing
theory.
the score, so
There
yeah.
you go. There you
It plays into
fucking
my
go.
theory about the end of the film. So that's exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So there's an alternate ending for this movie.
Oh, just before we talk about that, just so people know what Coolio's talking about, the ending of Days of Future Past, and we're gonna spoil this real quick. You see the back of a little boy, and he's throwing a baseball up and down in his hand, and then you see a little bit of red sunglasses, and then it goes dun 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 dun.
It cuts the credits.
Yeah,
Wait, hang
not
on. What?
directed by Brett Ratner, it will say.
Oh God.
Wait. Hang on. I'm intrigued. What's going on?
All right. So they did explain it well enough. All right. So
Hey now,
we get like
I
a
explained
wide,
it beautifully.
we get a shot of like the X-Men walking away after a job well done of saving
Oh
the
right,
time.
I forgot that part. Yes.
And
So
then
this is on the behind the scenes thing.
no,
No,
this is what
this is the ending of Days
let
of
me
Future
tell my
Past. We have it
goddamn
on
story, Kurt.
we have it on good authority.
Uh, let me tell my own goddamn story. So
No.
let me start over. X-Men started back in 2000. No,
Yes.
no. What we have with this at the end of Days of Future Past, we get a shot of them, the X-Men. They just saved the time itself and space, and they're like, "Good job, everyone." And then we see like the back of someone walk into frame. We don't know who it is, and then we see them playing with a baseball, as a certain X-Men we know always does. And then it goes dun dun, and it cuts the credits in and starts playing the X-Men theme. Dun 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 dun.
Da-da-da.
So yeah, and then it's Cyclops, so you know he's back.
Wait. Hang on. Is this a comic? Is this a what's going on?
This is my idea of what the ending was going to be, and I'm
Oh,
100% right.
okay. Fuck me. I was being like, what? This
No
this is a
thanks.
thing?
I'm good.
We
Thank
have
you,
it on
Sam. Though.
authority.
Oh,
So Cyclops
Well, so
plays
yeah, that's
baseball as a child in the animated series. He also loves to play it in X-Men Evolution. Mutant Ball! And then he's in X-Men First Class playing with the baseball in Cerebro. So he
that's so
loves
fun.
baseball. This
Which is
just in,
cool.
Scott Summers is a baseball.
Make that image too. I want red shades and Scott Summers as a baseball.
It reminds me of that joke in The Simpsons where it's one of the Halloween episodes, and the two aliens, Kang and whatever the other one's name is, and they're pretending to be Bill Clinton and Bob Dole. And Bob Dole goes, "When I was a boy, I dreamed of being a baseball."
He
That's
was
Scott Summers'
Cyclops.
dream.
Yeah, so we like the Wolverine. That's what you could take from all that.
yeah. So, um, there is an alternate ending for this movie,
Yes.
which have both excited and angered us fans. He opens, at the end, and this was in the movie. She hands him a briefcase, and to anyone that's just like, oh, it's his luggage. Turns out, that scene actually goes on a little bit extra, and he opens the briefcase, and what does it contain? Dun dun dun! The Spider-Man outfit.
Oh, I think the Spider-Man outfit wrapped around Gwyneth Paltrow's head.
Oh, jeez. What's in the box?
Howdy!
Uh, so yes, let me rephrase that. He opens the briefcase, and what does it contain? Dun dun dun! The Wolverine yellow outfit.
Oh, it contains the Wolverine.
On DVD.
It...
My adventure. I could watch it.
You can watch it back now. Interesting.
No
Um,
movie.
yeah. So yeah. Um, basically, they nearly put the Wolverine comic book outfit in this movie, and they made it. I think they have Jackman. They must have had Jackman try it on to greenlight it.
I don't know if they did, because Fox were 100% against it. And that's why I didn't make it in the film. So,
Yeah, pretty
uh,
much what they said was just we'll have him open a briefcase and we'll figure out what to put in there exactly after we shoot this scene. And so the shot of the actual suit in the case was shot much later.
Oh, really?
that's an
Yeah.
insert, yeah.
So it's not actually Jackman in that shot.
I mean, it might be. I don't know. Do we even see hands? I think we just see a briefcase open.
I think we see Hans. Hans
Whose
Zimmer.
Maybe it's Hans
hands?
Zimmer.
He has
Yeah.
the same. We see he's just like there, and he goes. "Brrr."
It's actually the Hans Zimmer suit.
It just says "brrr."
He gets
Drums.
three of the conductor sticks and puts them in between his fingers.
Chicka-doom, chicka-doom.
I
Oh!
am the Wolverine.
No, Nolan! No!
Well,
Nolan.
brrr.
So, I think we've said all that needs to be said about the Wolverine.
Yeah,
Anyone else got anything else? Anything left for
Good.
that part?
good movie.
Yeah, it's good.
Okay, now we move on to the.
You know what the next film was?
Yes.
No.
It was Two Guns, starring Denzel and Marky Mark and Cyclops. Did anyone see this?
My favorite comic book. No.
Yeah, I didn't see it either. And
I did not.
James Marsden is in this, and I didn't see it. So,
Shit.
You bastard.
I am a
You
bad
cocky
fan.
cock.
I will pay for my crimes against humanity.
Not just are you a cock, you are a cocky cog.
Yeah.
Yeah, take that.
Then the next film was Kick Ass 2. Did anyone see this?
I did.
Did you like it?
It was alright.
All right, there you go.
No, actually, I'm trying to remember it now.
Well, there you go.
I posted a review for this a while ago when it came out. Uh, I'm really struggling to remember what was good about it. Um, it was nice to see a colorful superhero movie again after so long. Um, I mean, we just don't really get those anymore, apparently. Um,
It's just Whedon has to direct one before we can get that.
yep. Or Mark Webb has to shift tone shifts and decide he wants his realistic Spider-Man to be a light-hearted Spider-Man now.
He takes
Um,
off the contrast. It's good.
yeah. Well, to be fair, the color palette for that first movie was awful. So if they want to do that, fine. But I mean, consistency. What's that?
Spider-Man 3 is gonna be cel shaded.
Spider-Man 4 is going to be in sepia.
Yeah.
It'll be great.
Um, but yeah. So what I remember about this movie, it was entertaining for the most part. Um, uh, I fancy Chloe Grace Moretz, so she lights up any movie I watch. It's okay, everyone. I'm 18. She's like 17 or 16. It's okay, everyone. Chill out.
She is 14. No, I'm only kidding.
Sam, she's like 12.
Isn't that like the line in the first one? It's like she's like 8 years old.
Something like that.
I don't know.
I don't know. I didn't like Kick-Ass 1.
Yeah, I didn't either.
hate
Yeah.
that movie.
I liked moments of it, but I just thought I don't think it handled its tone well at all. Because at times it was a comedy and it had sort of exaggerated violence, but I just found when it tried to incorporate some drama, first of all, it was really jarring, and I just found because the blood was like exaggerated, the whole thing felt kind of mean spirited.
Yeah.
And it kind of upset me. And so I went into this movie. This movie is quite a lot of fun. You're not really going to remember it. Like I'm trying to remember it now, so that tells you something. You won't really. It doesn't really stay with you for very long. But it's a fun watch. Colorful characters. There's a bit of repetition in terms of it kind of does exactly what the first movie did when it comes to the really sad part. Um, and
Who dies in this one?
oh, should we spoil it? Fuck it, yeah. Yeah, his dad dies. So it's his dad that dies in this one. And then and then the music comes up and he's like, "Let's kill the bad guys." And yeah, that's what happened in the first film. But the best thing about it was the sort of Justice League parody team that they had. I think it was called Justice Forever. That whole team was really funny. I kind of wanted the whole movie to be about them. So yeah, good moments. It's not a great film, but it's a fun watch. You'll enjoy it. Don't expect it to be as. Oh, well, I didn't even think the first one was very amazing, but everyone wouldn't shut up about it. So, if you
Yeah,
were one of those
exactly.
people, don't expect to be as wowed with the sequel. Um, and the next movie would be
The next film was. See, here on the list it says Ender's Game. That is not a comic book, right?
that's a novel.
Yeah,
A
it's a
novel, which I
freaking
did
comic
not
book
care
movie.
for.
It also has The Hobbit here, so
Uh,
whatever. But then yeah, Thor: The Dark World.
Um, see, oh, yeah, I really, really, I think this is a frustrating movie for me.
Interesting. Okay.
Because when we spoke, I said, I liked it quite a bit.
Yeah.
I said I thought it was better than the Wolverine. I don't anymore. I think this film is a lot of fun. It's well shot, it's well directed, it looks fantastic. It's got this really nice energy, good humor for the most part. Sometimes it goes into a bit of goofiness, but for the most part, the humor is really nice. Um, the the characterizations of Thor and Loki and the way that whole relationship was handled was fantastic. I loved that. I thought it was really well done, and the dialogue was very well written. Um, but in terms of the overall film, I really don't remember all that much about what happened in it. In terms of story, it's a very expositional heavy plot. Um, and And I also found Jane to be. I think Jane's boring now. I'm afraid. I'm just not interested in her anymore. I really want him to be
That's
going
fair.
out. I want him to be going out with Sif, so that we can have more of her in the movie.
Yeah.
Since she's not going to be Wonder Woman. Um,
Yes. They know they have her for the long haul now. So
yep. Um, but I don't want to, and like everyone said, the villain is crap. I agree. Um, but it wasn't a movie promising a whole bunch of stuff like say Iron Man 3 or Man of Steel was. It was simply a fun movie, has its problems, but I can live with a pretty decent movie. I do think it's frustrating in that it does feel like it's a few extra scenes away from being a really good one. Um, Maybe we're missing a scene or two about like characters reacting to something, or it's pretty recent since the movie came out, but cover your ears if you don't want spoilers for the next 10 seconds. When Thor's mum dies, we don't really so much get a scene with them talking about her being dead. We just have sort of shots of people being sad, and then it's washed over. It kind of reminded me of Uncle Ben's death in The Amazing Spider-Man. Um, but I'm not gonna lie, I did have a lot of fun with the movie, and the score is fantastic. That
yeah.
completely wowed me. I loved the score for this movie. So yeah, I'm kind of indifferent on it, but I mean, at the end of the day, it's definitely like there are movies so much worse than this, and I don't think this deserves any kind of hate. Um, so I'm kind of in between on it, but I'm sure I'll watch it again, and I will enjoy myself. So take from that what you will.
Okay.
Fair enough. All right, I guess I'll talk about my experience next. It's my turn. Okay, so my I guess build up towards this movie was rather positive. I went and saw a marathon for this film in 3D, which I'm not keen on 3D films. The last film I'd seen in 3D before this was Toy Story 3, so that was quite a long time ago. Um, what we had was a marathon of Thor, The Avengers, and then Thor: The Dark World at like 8 o'clock instead of midnight, which was cool. And it was fun all around. And watching Thor this time in the theater again, I liked it a bit more than I normally had. Thor has never really been one of my favorite films, but I can still enjoy it just because Loki's great in it, and it's Thor, so why not? Watching the Avengers again on the big screen was just so much fun. That movie is such a blast to watch, and it was great to see it like that. And then with that, we also got an extended look at Captain America: The Winter Soldier, which, spoiler alert for later, is my most anticipated film of next year. So seeing that and seeing them do like a 5 minute extended preview and not have it spoiler filled, like it didn't ruin the film for me, like the Spider-Man extended preview did. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, this was awesome. I was so pumped by the time the movie started that I was already having fun, and that's exactly what I did with this movie. It was so much fun to watch.
Yeah. Oh, blimey, my voice completely broke there.
You had a testy pop. That was interesting.
Yeah. Uh, so yeah, that was embarrassing.
I'm sorry to hear that, but I was
Judy's
having.
coming for you, Sam. It's okay.
You mean I'll get it finally?
Yes.
You'll get it finally.
Get it.
It will occur in my life eventually.
Yeah.
No, you're just gonna get it.
But any,
Or are you gonna get it?
but anyway, back to what we were talking about earlier.
Well, we were talking about Thor: The Dark World. Thor: The Dark World, reviewed by Slade Wilson.
I will destroy everything he loves dear.
I like Odin because he has an eye patch, just like me. But yeah, this movie was just so much fun to watch. The chemistry, that brotherly chemistry between Thor and Loki is just absolutely fantastic in my opinion. Tom Hiddleston, I'm pretty sure everyone can agree that this band is great, and he's Loki. He's not even Tom Hiddleston anymore. He's just Loki. He's sort of evolved into this. He could do other roles, but when he comes home at night, uh, he's Loki. That's the spoiler alert. for his life. What am I saying at this point? It's fun. We got to see a lot of cool scenes, a lot of characters being badass. I do like Zachary Levi. He had a great line in
Yeah.
this. Um, Volstagg, played by Ray Stevenson, who played Firefly in G.I. Joe Retaliation, uh, has a
And
great
Tony
line.
Zuko.
He says, "These people are beneath me." And so Zachary Levi goes, "If they were beneath you, Volstagg, they would be dead." And both times I see it in the theater, I'm the only person that laughed at that.
Me
And I'm
too.
and I'm like, did no one hear that? It means he's fat. It's funny.
Sorry, I tuned out. Which joke was this?
The I'll have to say it again. Volstagg, for those people at home listening again, you get to hear the joke again. Good for you. Volstagg says, "These people are beneath me." Zachary Levi says, "If they were beneath you, Volstagg, they would be dead." I laughed. It's really quick too. Like it happens and they go right to the next thing.
And it's
Um,
in the background. Like it's not loud. Like they're saying it as they're focusing on the cursed like dude.
the cursed dude, yes. And
Yeah, with
so
the bullhorns.
yeah. So that I thought this movie was had a lot of comedy. There is a maybe a bit too much comedy. Fucking I don't care for Kat Dennings in this film. I didn't care for her in the first film. I don't like her in these movies. She's just annoys me a
Why is
lot.
she?
Why are you here? Just I don't need her. Um,
Meow meow.
I fucking meow meow. Like there's
I
that
like
whole scene where like they're yelling everyone's names
Yeah, that
and
made me
like
cringe.
the temp just goes Selvig and I laughed because Selvig's a funny guy. And then like
Selvig.
that was so funny to me because this guy's just like caught up in the middle of all this. He didn't ask for any of this Thor stuff. And he goes Selvig. And then the hammer flies by and she goes meow meow and I go, well great.
Yeah,
There goes this.
you it's like yeah, you ruined it.
Like, way to go. Like they disappeared for a second, and I cheered in the theater both times when I saw it. Uh,
The
but
that
yeah.
romance with what I was saying earlier about how sometimes it bordered on being goofy. I don't I didn't get the out of nowhere romance between the temp and Darcy.
No, it sort of happened.
It was kind of like well, it's a funny thing to happen, I guess. I liked him picking up the car and I can't remember what he did, but he just like smashed some of the bad guys. Thought that was cool.
Yeah, he was Superman for a second. That's fun. I wish I could be Superman.
If
So that
anyone's hearing a bunch of noise in here, I apologize. My cats are craving attention. Um, my folks are on a holiday at the moment, so I'm the only one at home, um, and they keep asking me to give them lots of love. So I apologize both in advance and for previously about me clapping, and people were probably wondering what the fuck is he doing.
he's just applauding me. Thank you.
Well, yes,
Yes.
well done, everybody.
Well
Yeah,
done, Drew.
I really do love Odin in this film. Um, I feel like
Ah,
yes, that exactly. Just the ha ha ha, like laughing at Thor, thinking that he's crazy, and I just feel like the years are catching up with Odin, and it's an interesting contrast with the last film because we see Odin sort of telling Thor how he's young and naive. You're a vain, greedy little boy, and
And you
in
are an
this,
old man and a fool.
Odin's like, how dare you? And then this film, we
true.
kind of see the opposite of that. Thor's aged. He's starting to think a bit clearly, and Odin is kind of going in an opposite direction. He's worrying. We see him sort of making weird decisions and things, and I don't see that as, just poorly written as a character. No, I see him sort of just becoming older. Really, the throne should have been given to Thor already, and he's sort of living past his prime. And obviously, that's very true because, spoiler alert, Odin's dead, maybe?
Maybe, yeah.
I don't know. Alan Taylor said he was dead, and Anthony Hopkins was like, I guess I'm dead. So, we'll
Alan
see where.
Taylor might not be there for Thor 3, so we'll see.
This is very true. It might be, it might be Gilderoy Lockhart again.
I was going to say, he
Um,
might come back, Gilderoy.
Yeah, I also found the ending slightly anticlimactic. Um,
Wow, really?
Slightly, mainly because like they left it at another. Oh, maybe he'll come back for Jane, maybe he won't, and it was like that's the exact same thing as the first movie.
But then they fixed it with an after credit scene.
And
Yeah,
then
and I
Thor
don't know
made out.
why. I don't know why they didn't just stick that at the end of the movie
Yeah,
instead.
it's not my favorite after credit scene. That's for sure. Um,
I
fun
mean, I
fact.
liked the big ice monster. Like, roar,
Yeah,
containers.
like Thor, go get that. You're gonna Thor, quit making out with not Natalie Portman and go do that. So, fun fact about that scene. Um, when they were filming that, Natalie Portman was off filming another movie and she couldn't make it. So, Chris Hemsworth's wife stepped in, put on a Natalie Portman wig, and made out with him in that scene.
Are you kidding me? Really?
That's what happened.
That's hilarious.
So they couldn't get Natalie Portman, so he's like, "I'll just kiss my wife; it'll be fine."
Oh, his
Oh,
wife
this
is
is my wife.
gorgeous. Sorry, I'm looking. I'm looking her up. Blimey, she is a
I
good
know.
looker.
Yeah,
Hold
she
on.
should have been
Let me
Jane.
see who this is. I might know her. Not
Personally?
personally.
Oh.
Yeah, she was good friends, Chris Hemsworth and I.
She actually looks a tad like. No, she doesn't look like Natalie Portman, but she's got the same sort of. What am I trying to say? Oh my lord, she is. I'm smitten.
Chris Hemsworth just flies in like, step away from my wife.
You know damn well what you did.
Oh. Um.
Maybe if you squinted, she looked like Natalie Portman. Like there's certain pictures of her.
She's got a similar kind of body to her, I guess.
You know what's kind of awkward is that at times, from certain angles, she slightly resembles before she went all crazy, Miley Cyrus.
Someone else has said that.
Oh yeah, I see it
Yes.
right here. There's a picture showing them compared. Yeah, that's a
Oh,
shame.
really?
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah, well,
it's
I'm
the
just saying
haircut.
that they're Hemsworth boys. They are similar taste in ladies, I guess.
Blondes.
Blondes.
Actually, you know what she reminds? I was trying to put my finger on who she reminds me of. She reminds me of the blonde character from Glee. I think her name is
Quinn?
yeah.
I can see that.
I don't know who that is.
She was in Heroes. That's how I know her.
When was
I
she
don't
in
know.
Heroes?
She
Yeah.
was in the second season, and West, aka my Dick Grayson, tries to scare her by killing Claire.
Oh, was she like a bitch?
Yeah, she was like a cheerleader bitch.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
Is she like a bitch?
She is
nothing
like a bitch.
like a bitch, not is a bitch, like a
Yeah.
But
bitch.
but yeah, I
Yeah.
like Thor too.
Um, I might
Rather
just
good movie.
I'll just give my thoughts real quick on Thor.
Yeah, you do that.
So I really like. Well, okay, Sam, with your blessing.
You'll go. Yeah, yeah. Go for it. Go for it. I dare you.
Oh, okay. So by the way, I'm on Elsa Hemsworth's Wikipedia, and in her filmography, at the very bottom, it says Thor: The Dark World as Jane Foster, aka stand-in for Natalie Portman. So
See? Yeah.
there you go. She plays Jane Foster. That's hilarious. She's in Fast Five
She
and
Wonder
Fast and
Woman.
Furious Six, so she is also Wonder Woman.
Uh,
Um, I really liked Thor 2. I probably think it's my favorite comic book movie of the year. I would like to see it again. I've seen it twice already. I enjoyed it a lot both those times, but I don't know, I feel like I need to see these films like not on the big screen to fully make up my mind because I think this was a hell of a lot of fun to watch on the big screen. I'm not sure if that will translate the same way on television. I don't know. But I think once again, all the actors are great. Everyone, is just so perfect for their roles. Think of all the Marvel Universe um, sub verses. The Thor one is the best cast. I think everyone's perfect from Hemsworth to Hiddleston to uh, Odin and Volstagg and Heimdall to Meow Meow. They're all so good. So the Hammer's perfect. Good casting.
Yeah,
It's
you
a cool
laugh a
movie.
lot.
Yeah, actually, the part where Mjolnir is like flying around the Earth, being like, "God damn it, Thor, stay still." That's
Yeah,
hilarious.
that's funny.
Um, Christopher Eccleston was really good with what he had. Didn't have much though. And I understand everyone's frustration there. It was, of course, Christopher freaking Eccleston. Wow, I missed that up. Christopher freaking Eccleston,
Destro.
also a Heroes alumni, but
What have
that's
you
what he's
done
best
to
known for,
me?
right? What have
What I
you
know him for.
done to me?
He was the Invisible Man.
He was. I think it was like a doctor in something. I don't know, some medical
ER.
show. Yeah, it was in ER. So, yeah, I really liked Thor: The Dark World. I loved it, in fact. I would like to see it again, though.
Me
Cool.
too.
Very nice. So that wraps up the movies for this year. Let's go have a look at the
Oh, hold
upcoming.
on there, mister.
Whoa, whoa, whoa!
Did anyone see Old Boy?
No.
Okay, we're done. I knew that answer before I asked it.
So
No one saw Old Boy, not even Spike Lee.
that's upcoming 2014 superhero movies.
I have the list in front of me if you like.
Ah,
I had the rest in my mind.
ah.
At least I'm safe inside my mind.
Ah,
So,
SpongeBob.
just give me one moment, guys.
No. Kirk is gone, so that means I'm taking over on this project, the Australian project, as seen in The Amazing Spider-Man 2, starring Paul Giamatti as The Amazing Spider-Man 2. That was the joke. I'm done. All right.
2013, 2014, 2014,
2014 is the year we have. Jesus Christ.
2014
that.
is the second coming of Jesus Christ.
Oh, wow. I came back at a
Actually,
perfect time.
well, Jesus came back in Man of Steel. Did you see him playing volleyball?
Yeah, I did. Stained glass volleyball.
Volleyball Jesus. He's my favorite. Jesus.
Um, so I
Okay,
had to go there. People
okay,
are going
right.
to bed here, so
Okay, so right, I've got a list in front of me. So
so
they're not in
2014 in February we get RoboCop.
uh, uh, um I love what?
I'm sorry. It got really quiet on my end, and I come back and you just go.
I took the microphone into the bathroom.
Oh, ew.
Anyway, RoboCop. Um, probably won't go too in depth on each of these upcoming movies, but RoboCop. Why remake it? But granted, the second trailer that was released did actually make it look like a pretty decent movie. I don't, but like I don't. It doesn't need rebooting. Leave it alone. What do you guys think?
For a movie with Gary Oldman and Sam Jackson and Michael Keaton, I don't give a crap. That's really sad. I don't really like the original RoboCop. I saw it for the first time this year. Was kind of underwhelmed by it. I certainly don't need to see some kind of, I don't know, high tech Hollywood remake. So yeah.
I don't know. Maybe I'll see it.
You know,
That's
I
my
what
reaction.
it kind of reminds me of no one wanted to see the remake of Total Recall. What made the Hollywood people think that that it would be otherwise for RoboCop? Um,
Yeah, it's funny. Like I saw Total Recall on DVD. I didn't go to the cinema to see it, but and it actually wasn't bad. It was a good movie.
oh
If it
no,
wasn't,
I'll agree with you on that end. Very entertaining.
yeah, yeah. If it wasn't based on like a famous movie, it probably would have been much better received.
Yeah, because like, um, yeah, Total Recall, the original, is one of my favorite movies ever. And
Hmm.
I'm not blinded by fandom. That movie, the remake, was extremely entertaining. Fantastic fight scenes, really great special effects. They clearly put a lot of effort into making it an enjoyable film. But I mean, you compare it to the fun of the original, and
Yeah,
I think it kind of misses the point. The original is fun because everything is so wild and crazy, and it makes you wonder if it is a dream or if it's real, and that's part of the whole fun. But everyone plays it so straight in the new one that you obviously know that it's not a dream. Um, and yeah, so whatever. It was. I like Colin Farrell. I think it's a shame that he keeps going in these. He keeps being in these movies that are underachieving because he really is a terrific actor.
yeah, he's great.
He was just
Bullseye.
in. He was just in Saving Mr. Banks, as P.L. Travers's dad, who is an alcoholic, and he does the performance very, very well. So it's a shame that he keeps being in these kind of underwhelming movies, and no one. And then when he's in the good movies, barely anyone's seeing him. So I hope he gets an award at some point. But anyway, that was completely derailed. Um,
So RoboCop, yeah,
so Rebecca,
no one really cares.
no, I don't think so.
Cool. Okay, in March we have 300 Rise of an Empire.
I have not seen the first 300. I have no comment.
You're not missing much. It's overrated.
Okay.
That's my opinion. This is
Uh,
Sparta. That's the only thing people remember. Come on. Maybe Lena Headey's boobs. I don't know.
ooh.
The reason I haven't seen it is because I have no interest.
Yeah, that's fair.
It just doesn't look like my kind of movie. Looks like a stylistic movie. Um, Looks like a sort of arty auteur kind of movie. Aside from that, I'm not seeing the appeal. Could be a great movie. I have no right to say otherwise. I haven't seen it.
I have no interest in a sequel.
Well, at least they didn't call it 400.
I
What are
would
you
have seen
talking
it if it was
about?
called 400. They're like, we have 100 new men.
It's like 22 Jump Street that they're making.
Yeah.
Um,
Uh,
but yeah, so that's 300.
Vomit. Okay. Then later in March we get the epic comic known as Noah. Um, based off of the actual graphic novel. This is a retelling of Noah's Ark with Russell Crowe and Emma Watson and Jennifer Connelly. Yeah, Ray Winstone I think is also in it. It'll probably be really good. It's Darren Aronofsky. Uh, he only makes good films, so there you go.
Trailer was quite interesting.
Yeah, Coolio, are you excited for Noah?
No.
Okay.
Okay,
On
I've
on
heard
April, yes.
I've heard like as a Jew, I've been told the Noah's Ark story 5,000 times.
Oh,
So I'm hoping they can bring something new to the table.
They will. Russell
yeah.
Crowe.
It won't be as bad as Evan Almighty. We know that for sure.
Oh, come on now. That was an excellent movie, right?
John Goodman. He was in it.
Um,
That's the statement. All right.
I didn't know that actually. I haven't seen Evan Almighty.
Don't. It's crap.
Fucking Wanda
Uh,
Sykes, man.
excuse me?
Wanda Sykes. I don't like her.
Oh,
He wasn't implicating that he was doing something to Wanda Sykes.
As heavens no.
so in April we have Captain America: The Winter Soldier. Anyone excited for this? I don't know.
Uh, uh,
Trailer was okay.
yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I wouldn't necessarily say I'm excited for it. I'm looking forward to seeing Shield return since it's not in the TV show.
That's
Um,
true.
like you see the trailer and you're like, see, that is Shield.
Exactly.
That is the universe we recognize. I don't know what that other universe is. Um, but yeah, so I like. You see, I'm torn on the first Captain America movie. Um, there are so many like little things wrong with it that you'd have to make a whole video about it.
Thank you.
Um,
Thank you. Everyone has been telling me I am so wrong all these years.
Um,
Oh my gosh.
and you know, there are times where I think Steve Rogers isn't really like the comic book Steve Rogers, but then I just I just bumped my. Sorry, I just bumped
I
my
just
microphone.
punched a man.
um,
Ooh,
um, but yeah, like sometimes I don't think he's right, and then I watch the film and I'm like, you know what? They nailed him. Like, it's
mm.
arguable whether Chris Evans is right. I think he's pretty good, but they really like. I believe he's a nice guy. I really like the character of Steve Rogers in these films, and I'm looking forward on them shedding some light on the fact that he is alone in this present day, because there were some terrific deleted scenes for the Avengers that I
Yeah.
wish were still in that movie, and I kind of want a director's cut because um, of that and a few other things, um, but I'm hoping they can bring some interesting stuff to it. It does look a bit like I don't really know what the film is about, aside from he's sort of this isn't what was his line when he says to Nick Fury?
This isn't
This
freedom.
isn't.
This is
This isn't
fear.
free. Yeah, that was it. This isn't freedom. This is fear. So it looks like they're keeping that sort of ideal in mind. Um, I'm looking forward to seeing it. It looks like a sort of fun movie. It's going to be very weird watching Captain America 1 and then Captain America 2 together. They look like completely different movies.
Yeah.
But I guess that has to happen. So I'm eager. I'm looking forward to see what they do with it, um, because I don't know. We haven't seen Captain America since the Avengers. That's always when you haven't seen a character since the Avengers. That's always a bit exciting.
Sure. Yeah. Um, I Coolio and I have spoken about this a little bit on Grundy, but I mean, I'm really excited for this film. I will get to the other film, the other big film coming out this year, but not next year. But I kind of have the highest expectation from this film. I think this one will knock it out of the park, and I mean, I don't want to just presume that, and I'm not just presuming it, but I have a feeling about this one, a good feeling that is.
Really good.
A very groovy feeling.
A very Peruvian mutation feeling.
Anthony,
Well, I am very, very, very excited for this film. Um, I feel like everything that they're doing from what I've seen from the trailer is exactly what they need to be doing for a Captain America sequel. Um, Everything just feels so right. Like you said about how this will feel very different from the first film. I think that's completely true, and that sort of mirrors how the Captain America comics sort of been. The first film feels like the retro comics, and this film is going to feel very, very close to Brubaker's run. I can totally tell just from the tone of the trailer. The whole idea of Captain America sort of feeling, he's the man out of time, and sort of extending that into this makes total sense. I remember in early interviews, Joss Whedon was saying, Avengers, if it's anything, it's a story about Captain America. And that wasn't exactly true when the movie came out.
No.
So I'm very, very excited to see that actually happen now,
yeah,
considering that Captain America is my favorite Marvel character. Um, I watched the trailer again today just to sort of get a feel for all the movies come. I watched all the trailers for next year, and it just feels so right. I'm loving what they're doing with Falcon. I'm glad that they're bringing Falcon into it, even though I'm not a huge Falcon fan. He's kind of a core part of Captain America in modern day society. I like the idea
Yeah.
that Shield isn't always the good guys. Of
yep,
course, we see them disagreeing with them. I'm excited to see Robert Redford's character. Um, Doing a little history on his character, he's playing what's normally like a sleeper agent for Hydra, which totally works. This is all about ghosts coming back to haunt Steve, and I think that works so well. I find it funny that this film is going to feature characters like Crossbones and Batroc the Leaper and
Yeah.
Falcon and Winter Soldier. We're doing all of this, but I don't feel like it's look at all these villains. It's more
Yes.
of like an ensemble of
Spider-Man.
characters. Yeah, it's not Spider-Man where it's like Spider-Man's gonna fight everyone at the same time and he's gonna punch them. It feels more like
Punched him
it's a
real hard.
universe. It's similar to saying how I want a Batman film to go, to where we have so many characters in Gotham City. Captain America is the same way. You have an ensemble of characters. You don't need someone who's like, oh, I am the bad guy. You have,
Yeah.
a
Was
sort of
that a
feel for
Hiddleston
everyone.
impression?
That was.
Woohoo! Loki.
I bought your lunch for you. You're such an idiot.
I'm the
So
bad
I'm very pumped. I'm excited to see Winter Soldier. Seeing the images of him on set and everything, straight from the pages. I mean, we're gonna get a guy with a giant robot arm with a red star on it, and his hair's all long and greasy. So thrilling. Yeah, I can't be more pumped for this movie than I already am.
Yeah. Then in May we have the Amazing Spider-Man 2. I've already
guy.
made everyone angry, so
I,
have the floor.
I'm already sick of this movie because everyone keeps asking me to talk about it. I started scripting a video talking about it. I don't want to talk about this movie. I just don't want to see it. I think it's gonna be shit. And that sounds like a complete 180 turn because when I watched the trailer, I was like, oh my god, it's another Spider-Man movie. And the fan inside me goes, this is gonna be awesome. But then you watch it and there's so many little things wrong with it that
I remember that how you were excited, like seeing your reaction, like this is
yeah.
good, and I had the exact same reaction too, just like oh my god, this actually looks pretty neat. And then you watch it again, and you're like oh, and you watch it again, and you're like oh,
Yeah, I kind of had to slap myself around the face and
Oh
say,
no.
I kind of had to slap myself around the face and be like, no, this doesn't look very good.
Sam, think, look what you're watching.
Um, uh, there are a million things to complain about, and I know we shouldn't really complain because the movie's not out yet, but we can complain about appearance because we've seen it. Why is Green Goblin Tombstone on a glider? Why is Green Goblin even in this movie? Why does Rhino look like a Megazord? Why does uh, who else is in this movie? Why is Electro? Why is Electro in a black hoodie when you've gone out of your way to make him this big, colorful blue guy? Um,
Why is he rising?
why?
So he goes whoop right up in the sky.
um, and
Dashi, dashi.
Da-da, da-da, da-da-da.
and here's the thing. I don't want to spoil this movie, and I say that not having seen the movie, but I know exactly what they're gonna do. I can read them like a book. I don't want to sound up myself, but I know exactly what their game is. Um, it's a franchise that is making its success on superficial comic book to movie accuracy. It doesn't matter that Andrew Garfield's Peter Parker was a douche. He looks like Peter Parker, and he made the web shooters, so that's okay.
You're not allowed to call him a douche, or someone will argue with you in the comments of your video, as I've recently had today.
Have you seen the comments on my Amazing Spider-Man review?
Oh, I have.
Mate, I am famous for that shit.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Spider-Man.
So
Hashtag Peter's a douche.
like I don't really worry about like saying this stuff anymore because everyone keeps asking me to talk about it, so they probably know I'm not gonna like it. And actually, I've seen a lot of people that once upon a time, because I try and read every single comment on my videos, and when I first released that review, a lot of people that are still following me today had previously said, you're wrong, you're shit, blah blah blah, and over time been like, you know what, you're so right. So that's interesting. And where was I going? Yeah. I know what they do. They're gonna have it. I know exactly what they're gonna do. They're gonna have you know who bite the dust. That's why they've
Voldemort.
That's why they've shoehorned. That's why they've shoehorned Green Goblin in here. Because if they're gonna do it, they have to do it exactly right. Because if they don't do it exactly right, then the comic book fans will complain. So they're gonna do this. The comic book fans are gonna be like, "Oh my god, that totally happened in the comics," and they're gonna say it's the best superhero movie on the planet.
Yeah, that epic scene from the comics where Norman Osborn throws Lord Voldemort from the bridge. I love it.
And you see that shot. You see that shot where he webs, when he's trying to get something. We all know what it's going to be. Sony goes out of their way so much to try and spoil these movies for us. They let so many on-set photos get released. They put so many extra little viral marketing They ruin the movie for you.
They put the after credit scene in the trailer.
They put the fucking after credit scene in the trailer, and again, it's fan baiting. It's being like, oh, wait, no, look, Doctor Octopus's arms, it just screams soulless to me. It,
Yeah,
I don't like it. It makes me feel uncomfortable that they, it's businessmen in coats saying this equals success, this equals success. They've already greenlit They're already planning Spider-Man 4, and apparently Andrew Garfield might not come back. Who cares? We're not even at the second one yet.
yeah.
I just don't. Yeah. There are no words. Supercalifragilisticexpialidocious.
BJ
AKA.
Novak was in Saving Mr. Banks with Paul Giamatti, who were both in Amazing Spider-Man 2.
And the circle is complete, Charles.
And the circle is complete. You mean like a pancake? Oh, god damn it, Charles.
A very, very groovy pancake.
Very groovy mutation pancake.
Mutated pancake. The next stage of human evolution.
I am predicting right now that BJ Novak is Dr. Octopus, and that sounds crazy, but this film is gonna be crazy. Crazy stupid. So, there we go.
Very stupid mutation.
It's a very groovy mutation, stupid.
Stupid.
Yeah, that gave our number.
um,
Going on the internet.
sorry, I have to be really quiet. The next film to come out is the Ninja Turtles. Does anyone care?
No.
I wish I did, but I don't because it's gonna be stupid.
Megan Fox is April O'Neil. Fuck off.
Yeah.
So,
Michael
with that
Bay.
said,
Michael Bay doing the fucking teenage. Fuck off. Just fuck off.
Aquaman's gonna be Raphael.
Like I swear every single movie that's coming out nowadays is a sequel, a reboot, a spin-off. Let's get some originality. Whatever happened to Hollywood needs to crash down so that they can finally start taking risks again like they did in the 70s and the 80s. That's how we got great movies like Star Wars, the Spielberg movies, Indiana Jones, stuff like that. Great original movies that Hollywood, would take risks in filmmakers. We need that again because my God, if I have to sit through like 5 more X-Men movies,
yeah.
like I'm
I'm
a fan of all these things, but even I will get sick of it eventually if you keep running it into the ground. Terminator 5 is coming out soon. I kind of don't care.
I'm a semi-big Terminator fan, so if it sounds like the right sort of movie, then I'm excited, but we'll see.
Terminator Genesis.
Well, I mean,
Yeah,
I don't want to
exactly.
judge a book by its name.
Rise of
so
the Terminators.
we already had Rise of the Machines.
Oh yeah, true.
That's what I mean.
Sonic the Hedgehog.
I thought you were doing If You Want to View Paradise.
I can do that if you want.
No.
Please,
What?
don't let me stop you.
Oh wait. We've got two opposing opinions. Yes, do it.
We have 2 months. Better change mine quick.
What's the
Okay,
next movie?
so the next film is Transformers 4.
No
No one cares? Okay, let's moving on.
Hold
The
on,
next
no,
film...
I have something
Oh.
to say. I'm
Oh,
sorry.
do you?
Yes.
But it's
Oh, God,
Transformers
really?
4,
I'm just saying that
the 4th one.
I'm aware of what it is. I want to say something real quick.
Okay.
I'm a Transformers fan. And so when the 3rd one came out and Michael Bay was like, I'm done. And he was done. And then it made a shit ton of money. And then he's not done. I'm sad. That's it.
and he's cast Mark Wahlberg in it. Mark Wahlberg is very quickly becoming one of my least favorite actors.
Yeah, it's a shame.
I kind of think he's a dick.
Yeah, he is.
I
And
have a
Have you
theory.
s-
The man might be a dick.
Have you seen him in that video where Bale sings the Powerpuff Girls theme. Wahlberg's such a dick.
Oh my god, I didn't even see that coming. He was singing Transformers. Whoa. Didn't even see that coming. Wow, alright.
So the following movie is
The next film is a little film called X-Men Days of Future Past. um, so,
Well, in all fairness, that calendar is wrong, and Future Past comes out before Ninja Turtles and Transformers.
yes, I know.
we've
I
got to go
forgot
back,
about
Charles, to get some ass.
that,
To get some
though.
ass.
Charles!
That's
We've got to go back!
X. Where?
No ass. No.
So X-Men comes out in May, but comicbookmovie.com reckons it's coming out in July, and they're wrong. But yeah, obviously I'm very excited for this film. It's the film that I have the most stake in. I don't necessarily think it's going to be the best film, but I'm very intrigued. The '70s stuff looks really cool. The stuff they've been doing with Magneto and the JFK murder is pretty cool. The future stuff also looks cool. It's just Halle Berry's there, so.
Yeah.
And I think James Marsden is lying to us all, and I think he's in it. So we'll see.
Yeah, I'm extremely excited for this movie. I know I shouldn't be, because X-Men movies have a reputation for, you know,
Very groovy reputation.
very groovy reputation, for disappointing people with their movies. I have a lot of faith in Bryan Singer. I don't understand why everyone is saying, fuck you, Bryan Singer, fuck you, Bryan Singer. Like, I don't care I don't care about him and Superman Returns. He put genuine heart and passion into that project, and I think that's forgivable when you do that. He wasn't just trying to make a quick buck.
Yeah.
He followed his heart, and as an aspiring filmmaker, I completely understand that. And I think he did a great job with the first two X-Men movies, and now he's
Excellent.
back. And
Yeah.
he wrote the story of First Class. These are all the really good movies, or rather, well, First Class is debatable, but that was still a good X-Men movie, or
I
a good movie.
yeah.
Um, but I mean, I don't understand why everyone's like, "Oh, Brian Singer's gonna ruin the franchise." By the way, that is an awesome new picture, Coolio.
I'm so happy this is made! Like,
Wait.
this picture, okay, real quick shout out. This is, there's a fan of ours that does videos for us sometimes, Solomon Grundy. His name is Cody. Real cool guy. Just made this, and it's
I'm in it too.
yes, Kirk is in it. He's about to be killed by Deathstroke.
Oh, jeez. People are wondering what on earth.
Defoe's whispering in his ear.
Yes,
But
and Tara Strong's about to eat him.
Oh,
Anyways,
anyway,
X-Men.
yeah, X-Men. I'm really looking forward to it. On the one hand, the fact that they're making a sequel to that film now, in a way, says like, oh, that's kind of annoying because I thought it was going to be a big finale. At the same time, I was saying pretty recently, it's going to be really hard to pack so much crap into this one movie, and if they have to, hopefully they'd wrap up an aspect of the story, and in Days of Future Past. But if they continue that on to the next movie, um, at least they have the sense to not try and cram it all into the one. Um, that's me making an assumption. I'd hope that's what would happen. I just really hope this movie's good. It looks like a really fun movie, but what's scary is that, like Man of Steel and Iron Man 3, it's promising something better, something different. It's promising stuff. And it's not just a, hey, come join X-Men again. Like, no, this is like really heavy. This is going to be an emotional ride. This is going to be the Vivace of X-Men films. So I really hope it doesn't disappoint.
Yeah, I'm excited for it. As I said earlier, I watched all the trailers again today just to sort of get a good feel of what I'm excited for. After watch it, I'm way, way more excited for this than I am for Spider-Man, that's for sure. And this is
Yeah,
for a person who's actually looking forward to Spider-Man, if I can. So yeah, it's X-Men, and Iceman's got a beard, and it's just
a
I'm
very
excited.
groovy mutation beard.
I'm so excited to see Bryan Singer make an X-Men movie.
Uh-oh.
Hello.
Oh,
Yeah,
it just went quiet for everyone.
Oh yeah,
yeah,
you
that was
cut
really
out.
weird.
You cut out a couple times, and we were waiting for you to return.
Oh, okay. X-Men, I'm excited. Bryan Singer, what a man.
What a guy. Uh, has everyone said stuff about Days of Future Past?
I believe so.
Cool. What's next?
Next, we have Guardians of the Galaxy.
Now, I just want to say that the reason I am really, really excited for this movie is because it's brand new. We haven't seen these people before. It's going to be cosmic. I can imagine it being like a live action Futurama kind of thing. I know it's not going to be, but from the look of the after credit scene in Thor, it does look like a colorful mishmash of space cosmic stuff. And it does look like fun. The like we've barely seen anything from it, and I think the not knowing is really getting me excited. Um, like the fact that they're gonna have a talking raccoon in this, like like that's amazing. And the fact that we're gonna have a talking raccoon in a movie before Wonder Woman astonishes me. Um, but I can't help it. I'm really looking forward to seeing how they pull this off.
This could be
Um,
fun. Yeah, I'm not
yeah.
looking forward to it, but it's like it's Guardians. I don't know anything about this book other than that's just a tree and a raccoon, and Peter Quill is from Parks and Recreation. So that's all right. Cool. I'll see it. Sure.
I guess I have to see a trailer before I actually form an opinion. Right now, I don't really know, and I don't want to say I don't care. Um, but at the moment, I don't have any just sort of thought or stake in it. I just, Batista's there. There's a talking tree. This could be fun. So I guess we'll see.
Human tree, 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 tree.
And then the final film of the year, and I doubt this will even come out because it should have come out like 5 years ago or something. But like Sin City 2, I don't really care.
I haven't seen Sin City 1.
I haven't either.
Okay, well that's the video then.
Well, that was quite a lot of stuff we went through.
Yes.
We have conquered 2013, and so yeah, 2013. Fuck you. Sorry, but fuck you, man.
Wow.
Hey, I'll give 2013 its credit. It woke us all up. All right.
Yeah. I guess in a sense, hopefully 2014 is hopefully the transition is like it maybe 2013 is like that bad part of the day that you have to get through to get to the good part of the day.
Yeah.
Hope. That's really all we can do at the moment.
Yes. Hope.
But yes, thanks a lot, guys, for coming on. This was a lot of fun.
No problem. I love being here.
Yeah, pleasure. Fun as always.
Sweet. Cool. Well, everyone, subscribe to Coolio and Kirk. Kirk being Shades. In case you didn't get that. And also subscribe to their podcast, the Solomon Grundy. It's really good. Very funny. These guys, you stick these guys in a room together, and they're hilarious. But there were very insightful opinions. I'm tuning in every week. And yeah, and also it's got a killer intro. I love it.
Yeah, I dance every time I watch it.
you you were the first person who commented on the new intro, So I was so happy when someone liked it and it was you. So
Yeah.
yeah,
I wake up confused.
he just got roofied by me,
Well,
and I
go
on that note,
on. On that note, thank you for joining our very groovy podcast.
a very groovy mutation podcast.
Stupid.
Stupid. James McAvoy. He's a good guy.
I heard the pause and I was like, James McAvoy, is he just going to end it there?
That's Coolio's gimmick.
Oh yeah, I end things on a joke, but
Yes, anyway. Thanks to everyone for tuning in to listen to this. I'm Sam.
I'm Shades.
I'm going to bed.
Well,
So am I.
thanks for joining us going to bed.
You're welcome.
I'm going to have some breakfast.
Oh, Charles.
I'm Sam Gavin. Would you like some breakfast? Yes, I'll have some breakfast, thank you.
Yeah, what was that?
Yeah. No,
It's Sam
I'm a
talking
horse
to
now.
himself.
Anyway.
I'm a brew.
Alright, it's 2013. Later, bitches.
Alright.
Cyclops lives.
Thanks to everyone for listening, and we'll see you soon. Next time. Whatever. Goodbye.
Bye.
Bye, season.